Roses, so make a little room. Here comes Big Daddy, big like a truck, satisfying like a caddy. Many are called, but the chosen are few. And all I wanna know is it good to you?
Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. This was for y'all. The obligation tonight.
I'm sitting in the crib dreaming about Learjets and coops, the way Salt shoots and how to sell records like Snoop. I'm interrupted by a doorbell, 3:52. Who the hell is this? I get up quick, cops my shit, stop the dogs from barking, then proceed to walking. It's a face that I seen before. My nigga sing, he used to sling on the 16th floor. Check it, I look deeper, I see blood up on his sneakers, and his fist grip the chrome 4/5. So I dip, nigga, is you creeping or speaking? He tells me C-Rock just got hit up at the beacon. I opens up the door, pitiful. Is he critical? Retaliation for this one won't be minimal, cause I'm a criminal. Way before the rap shit, bust the gat shit, Puff won't even know what happened.
I promise you we won't need Jaguar Wright for this one. I promise you tonight we won't need her.
You know we gotta do a remix, right?
It's a long list.
Niggas is mad, I get more butt than ashtrays. The fair one, I get mine the fast way. Ski mask way, the ransom notes. Far from handsome, but guns the roses, clothes is shaking in their boots. A visible bully, like the gooch.
Mace, I got you. Mace, I got you.
The factory, I see the gimmicks, the whack lyrics, the shit is depressing, pathetic. Please forget it. You're mad cause my style you're admiring. Don't be mad, UPS is hiring. You should have been a cop, hip hop. With that freestyle, you're bound to get shot. Not from Houston, but I rap a lot. Pack the gat a lot. The flame's about to drop.
Here comes the brand new flavor in your air. Time for new flavor in your air. I'm kicking new flavor in your air. Like a brand new flavor in your air. Here comes the brand new flavor in your air. Time for new flavor in your air. Word up, no rap, no crap, you bore me. One to grab my body, too lazy. Hold it for me. I'm straight rap great, bust the head straight and...
Shout out to everybody tuning in. First time, last time listeners, you already know what time it is. Live from the spot, motherfucking podcast. We are here. Episode 30 motherfucking 3. And y'all, it's been a crazy ass last week. It's been a crazy ass last week in the media. And a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a distraction from something else, which it probably is, more than likely is. But as I told my friend, because we gonna get right into it. Like I said, everybody, shout out to everybody tuning in. Welcome everybody. We gonna get right into it because we got a lot. It's so much I had to number it. it's so many clips I had to number them. I'm just gonna forewarn y'all now, and just for defamation reasons, I'm not gonna speak too much. I'm not gonna be like, oh, such and such did this and such did that, and I'm just gonna let the people say it. I'm just gonna let everybody in these clips and y'all decipher for yourselves, because this gentleman, if y'all didn't see who was on the cover of the episode this week, has been in the news for this Cassie case, and yeah. And as I told my friend, I said, yo, this is a huge hole in a piñata that got poked. This is a very big piñata, okay, that's been sitting in the industry above everybody's heads for about 20-some years, probably more, okay? It's a huge ass piñata that Cassie Ventura has just poked a hole in. And that shit leaking like a bitch right now. It's leaking like a bitch. Oh my Lord, it's leaking. Because her one lawsuit that she just got $30 million for within a day that she filed it. I want to give shout out to Cassie. Shout out to motherfucking Cassie for even doing this. Even have her and her husband even having the balls to do this shit. I'm talking about the balls. Like, Cassie let her nuts hang doing that. She let her nuts hang. Said, oh yeah? I got you. I'm gone. I'm clean going away too. She made sure she was clean gone away before she even attempted this shit. That's another reason I say shout out to Cassie. Because she made sure she was all the way out of the way. She made sure she was married already to someone complete. She was all the way out of the industry. She don't got no ties to nobody, nothing. Just her and her husband chilling. And say, you know what? I'm going to get your ass now. Now I'm going to get your ass. And this is a lawsuit that you can tell. Put it like this. A lawsuit, a rape lawsuit that she put together, which we're going to get into. We have no choice but to get into some of it. Because I have the case pulled up. I have the PDF pulled up. We're going to get into it. Like I said, it's going to be a long one. This one's going to be a long one. I'm just telling you now. But the case it was put together and the amount of paperwork that's put together for it, that just told me that this shit been building up for quite some time. And if it has been a case that's been building up for quite some time, that leaves me to believe that she did this in honor of Kim. Cassie did this in honor of Kim. Yeah, she waited till she was out the way, but I guarantee you, with the amount of time that it takes to actually put together paperwork for a case with lawyers, which is about a year, 2 years and change, and let's think about the time now of when Kim passed. And that whole thing happened where Diddy went on stage and did the big tour, basically, the memorial tour of Kim Porter, basically. The farewell memorial of Kim Porter, basically, that he was doing. Cassie said, all right, it's time now. It's time now, because you done did it to too many people. You done did it too many. You done did it too many times, Diddy. You did too many times. That's what people are saying. People are saying this has happened too many times to too many people. That's what everyone is saying. And like I said, I'm not saying nothing. This is what the blogs are saying. Everybody is saying right now that it's just gotten to the point where it's like, yo, that list done got too big. The names started falling off the end of the sheet. So we're going to get right into it. Like I said, I numbered these shits. But we ain't going to just talk about Cassie and Kim Porter. Oh, no. No. We ain't going to talk about just Cassie and Kim Porter. We ain't going to get right to that. Know why? Because we got to talk about the behavior of things first. And that's why I said we're going to go there tonight. We're going to go there. Remember when I said before we're going to have that honest pod? I ain't going to fully go down the rabbit hole tonight, but I'm going to open the door. I'm going to open the door and let y'all see the hole. Let y'all look down at yourselves and say, ooh. So, let's start with number one.
We segueing into the Drink Champs interview when you was with Nori and Fab and Jada and everybody. They made a compilation video of you because they said you were sounding real suspect on the interview.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Of course, did he see it?
No, I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I swear to God.
Come on, man. You saw that on World Star and on the gram.
Check this out. When they started playing the game, the pause game, I would definitely...
That came from Harlem, too, by the way.
Yeah, came from Harlem. I definitely would say some, the crowd would be like, whoa, did he just say that? You know what I'm saying? I don't play games. Y'all know. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown man. I don't play games. But, yeah.
Did
the
you
compilation? Nah, I was coming off of being in Miami a night of party, and I don't really remember what I was saying.
As he sits there in a cheetah print coat.
You know what I'm saying?
Would you like a reminder?
Yeah, sure.
Play some.
Hey, yo, listen, yo, I love it all. I love it all, man. I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when
you
you
it's right
scrambling
here,
and scraping for shit.
No.
That was you.
Scrambling.
What? You said, I like when you do it like that, Daddy. When you scrambling and scraping for shit.
Hey, man.
He's like, I don't know what I was talking about.
Hey. Nah. I mean, I was
You don't go back and look at that stuff and laugh?
I mean, it could be funny. I don't really be on it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like.
I'm sure we can put Charlamagne's compilation against Diddy's compilation.
We have a bunch. We put.
Yeah. I mean, I also don't do it because I know I'm bad at the game.
Which, by the way, Charlamagne's gay moments are fucking horrendous. His compilation list probably extends too.
I know I say like reckless stuff out my mouth that's just not maybe, adding up to with somebody who's homophobic, but I'm not homophobic and I really don't, care. You know what I'm saying? But I'm bad at the game and it's probably hilarious. I would love to see it. I would love to see the video compilation.
It's hilarious.
50 came up here and he was giving you flack for the asking Fab to party. So he'll ask you to play the clip, man.
Yeah, play the clip. Go ahead. I want you to party with me for your birthday, man.
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying?
I asked 50 about that. And he said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah. I thought he needed some clothes. What? I'm a nice guy.
Why do you and Fif just...
Hey, yo.
Why y'all...
Did y'all notice how he started, I don't know, moving his shoulder up and down? You see his knee jumping now. Run it back a little bit. You see how long it took him to answer that question?
Party, you know what I'm saying?
I asked 50 about that. And he said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah. I thought he needed some clothes.
You could visibly see Diddy
I'm a
shaking
nice guy.
Why do you and Fif just...
Hey, yo.
Why y'all not...
Hey, yo, I don't have no beef with
I don't know why.
With Fif. He loves me. He loves me.
Do y'all really
can't
have
see
a
it?
beef?
I mean, y'all can't see it.
No, we can't see
Y'all
it,
can't
man.
see that he loves me?
But see...
You really, hold on, you really think that's hate? When you really break it down, you've been out here a long time. You know he loves me.
I don't think he like you.
You know he loves me.
Now, why did Diddy have to take his shades off to do that? Now, let's all say this too. We've known Diddy a long time. So we know some of Diddy's mannerisms, right? Why did Diddy take his glasses off and look envy in his eyes the way he did just now? As if Diddy got very serious and said, you've been out here a long time. You know what that actually means, right? Notice how he looked at envy when he said that. Notice he's staring very seriously at Envy's eyes right now, saying, you know what that means.
Me?
I don't think he like you.
Okay.
But why not? Y'all both passionate. Y'all both
I don't know. Yo, check this out. I don't know.
Like
I don't.
both the same.
No, we are not.
Okay.
We are not the same.
But I mean,
we are
as
not
far
cut
as the
from
way
the
you
same
guys
cloth.
work hard.
Yeah, and I mean, I respect that. I don't never hit him with no, nothing. I don't even think of no other man. Besides, if I'm thinking about another man, I'm thinking about uplifting. I'm not thinking about all that. All them gnats, they can't really touch me. Y'all, at the end of the day, y'all see and y'all know what it is. Mm-hmm. The track record. Y'all know the business acumen.
So, let's talk about that track record for a second, right? The track record of him. Because we're getting into the track record of things, right? And, what exactly are they talking about when they're mentioning the clip that Diddy was in, right? Let's go to that clip.
I got Mr. Lee.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag
I like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at,
I like
Mr.
when
Lee?
you
it's right
scrambling
here,
and
it's right
scraping for
here.
shit.
No, I got
I
notes
like
and
that.
shit. I've been practicing. I got
Yeah.
Mr. Lee.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag
I like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at,
I like
Mr.
when
Lee?
you
it's right here,
scrambling and
it's right
scraping.
here.
When you
it's right here,
scrambling
it's
and
right
scraping for
here.
shit.
No. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go over with that one.
Yeah, I saw how Jada leaned over looking like, yo, what you mean by all that?
That one.
Just blow it out. It's your birthday every day.
Every day's your birthday on Drink Champs, goddammit. I'm in.
Where I look
Did you
back
miss
on
me?
where I became.
Did you miss me though? For real, because we I'm saying it seems like a thing.
I
with
miss
this
partying
birthday
with
party,
Puff, man. I
Man,
miss
but I'm
partying
talking about
with
for your
him.
birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party. You know what I'm saying? Eyes, brother.
Great question. What kind of party is Diddy talking about? And why is he saying, no, you ain't really, party with me? Why do you emphasize it like that? You ain't never really party with me? Why won't you party with me for your birthday? Now, also notice how Fab answered that question. Fab was nervous to even answer the question.
Party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party. You know what I'm saying? Eyes, man.
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No.
Party for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party.
Fabulous was nervous out his ass to even answer that question. With reasonable doubt why. Fabulous, let's just say Fabulous has been one of the outer looks in the industry, right? Everyone always says Fabulous doesn't get his just due, his just credit. Why isn't Fabulous a bigger artist? This, that, and the third, right? The answer to that question was just answered just now.
You know what I'm saying? Eyes, brother.
Oh, man.
Eyes. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So check this out. It's me, Tyrese, Ray J, and F. Gary Gray. You know, I'm a type of nigga, I like variety, man. I like people that's unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? I like different personalities. So I was like, I never knew they would become what they are today. But you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, that sounded like the type of night I want to have in.
Now, notice how they kept panning the camera to Fabulous, and he even had to wave off what Diddy had just said just now. Looking at where they've gotten just now. And notice what I just said before that about Fabulous's career. He had to let that whole thing go just now. For the sake of peace.
Vegas. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So
he even started eating just to block out what was really going on in his mind and what he wanted.
So Tyrese kept on talking.
This is a fight. This is a Floyd fight, right?
Yeah. And Tyrese keep on talking about like how you got to get back for church. And we just like, yo, the night ain't start. You got to get back for church. We in motherfucking Vegas, nigga. Like, you can go to church next week. You know what I'm saying? Sending your thing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but we in Vegas. Don't be bringing God into this situation. Don't bring God into this situation. You know what I'm saying? F. Gary Gray is like, nigga, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Ray J. So Ray J is like just really like feeling like Ray J right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo. Walked in. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I said let me pick it up.
That's why I
gotta pick it up from right there. This why I gotta pick it up from right there.
Look at this nigga. This is a veteran, nigga.
Go ahead.
No, Groove.
Kill him.
Look. Come tell the story. Groove, we're intoxicated.
Listen.
Groove, you helping me build that beautiful, nice guy, Rastafari brand of yours, huh? I see you, man.
I'm walking.
Yeah.
Now, notice how that happened. Diddy also tried to throw in at the last second, oh, we helped you build that brand, that nice, beautiful brand. You know what I'm saying? Notice how he also was basically manhandling the guy. Like, no, come on, come sit down, come tell the story, Obviously, the Rastaman don't play that. Rastaman don't talk no batty boy talk, okay? So, Rastaman decided to say, I am going to excuse myself and exit the room, okay? I'm going to exit this conversation, okay? Rightfully so. He don't play that shit. As soon as Diddy even started talking about the story with Ray J, Rastaman said, I'm going over here. Oh, no, I want you to tell the story. Rastaman ain't trying to hear that shit. You lift up his skirt, all that shit. Lift up his cloth or whatever. He ain't trying to hear that shit. I'm out of here. Nah, I'm good.
Happy birthday
to you.
Woo!
Happy birthday to you.
Woo!
Happy birthday, dear Fabulous. The only nigga that got the name that I want. It ain't gay. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah.
Let's take a shot for that, boy.
Next.
Man, it's been one of them motherfucking nights. Real. I should have took some pictures before.
Now, there was a period in time, I can't remember the actual year. But I remember when Diddy first started doing the whole Brother Love thing. And this is around the time that he was starting to do the whole parody of the Brother Love thing, where he had this alter ego of Brother Love. I believe he even had a different name for the alter ego. I can't remember what it was, but he had a different name for the alter ego. And he would do different lives and segments with this alter ego with this wig. Y'all judge for yourselves what y'all see in this particular video in these next couple of minutes.
Nice service, the end of the night, and it was motherfucker. So we coming to you live, Diddy late nights. Anything can happen. I'm just vibing. Some wine.
You gotta keep the hair.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna wear this here in Toronto.
Ain't nobody. Hey, yo, let me ask you a question.
When I get to
Motherfucker floating like a motherfucking cloud. Like you had clouds on your motherfucking shoes. You know what I'm saying? And that motherfucker moving around.
Hey, yo, you said Febreze, nigga?
Y'all heard just what I just heard, right? In case you didn't.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna wear this here in Toronto.
Ain't nobody. Hey, yo, let me ask you a question.
When I get to
Motherfucker floating like a motherfucking cloud. Like you had clouds on your motherfucking shoes. You know what I'm saying? And that motherfucker moving around.
Hey, yo, you said Febreze, nigga?
You was floating like a motherfucking Febreze, my nigga. You was moving like, nigga, with a scent. You had a...
Nigga, it's just late night. Nigga, I got my wig on.
Breezing.
Listen, I was like, this ain't no goddamn wig. This motherfucking natural. I don't need to be ashamed of what the fuck.
That's a motherfucking natural.
It's a motherfucking natural. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing it to Toronto and Atlanta. You coming to Atlanta? Yo, motherfucker, you coming or not, bitch?
Man, I'm down.
Nah, if you don't get to Toronto, get to Atlanta. I know you got a busy schedule producing all them hits.
I'm definitely making it to Atlanta.
Maybe you should schedule in class.
Nigga, Toronto, I'ma smash that shit.
David.
We get to Atlanta. I know you got a busy schedule producing all them hits.
I'm definitely making it to Atlanta.
Maybe you should schedule in class.
Nigga, Toronto, I'ma smash that shit, bitch.
Man, I'm down.
Nah, if you don't get to Toronto, get to Atlanta. I know you got a busy schedule producing all them hits.
I'm definitely making it to Atlanta.
Maybe you should schedule in class.
Nigga, Toronto, I'ma smash that shit.
I ain't gotta say what y'all heard. Y'all heard it. I ain't gotta say it.
David, can you schedule me in? Because it's like
Yo.
They doing the album together. Y'all need to come see these shows and shut the fuck up, for real.
You talk.
I'm not talking to nobody. I'm just saying, let's have a good...
You done got your hair right, and now you don't know nobody.
I just don't feel right without my family, that's all, baby. If anybody else take it any other way, I just don't feel right without y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Now motherfucker.
Fuck. I don't even know why I'm FaceTime recording you like you entertaining niggas. You ain't entertaining nobody. Niggas is touching snaps. They got 15 seconds. You wasting time.
Baby, you trying to destroy me?
Hey, yo, you gonna meet me in Atlanta?
Yo, ATL, you know what I'm saying? We gonna hit Atlanta. You know we don't have to trap out in Atlanta.
So Atlanta, we coming, get my fucking way. In Atlanta, I'm bringing something special. Hey, yo, Toronto, Cash, what up? XO. T-Dot, what's up, Six God? Drake, what up, baby? Yeah, we coming, baby. Yeah, Cash. Toronto always show love, you know what I'm saying? You guys understand these big sweets. I came in with the biggest sweet ever. I remember I came out like I was the biggest sweet in Toronto. They got me some shit cool up top. Everybody's there. a little X, you know what I'm saying? Drake was even in that mode. So, we going to Toronto, and we just going to have fun. That's it. Lies over. Told you, blind. Fucking you, ain't no protection. Sometimes you get in the vibe and I get lost, man. 20 years of hits, take you through the soundtrack of your life.
So that was how Diddy used to be with the wig, right? Until he started getting a lot of, backlash about it. Okay. So, as y'all can actually see, though, how Diddy is when he's drunk. As people say about Diddy when he's drunk. He gets that way. Okay. Now, word had started going around about Jamie Foxx, right? You remember when Jamie Foxx was in the hospital and no one knew why Jamie Foxx was in the hospital? And everybody started saying, oh, Jamie Foxx got an interview where he's talking about the Diddy parties. Then rumors started going around that Diddy had something happen to Jamie. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out why people were saying that. I couldn't figure out why. Till I saw this.
There has been negative propaganda put out about me that's not true.
At that time, Puff was the biggest guy in the world. You couldn't even get in this party. So the way I would get in this party is I show up with a camera.
Puff, yo, you gotta let me film this, the whole thing. We need to document this, Playboy.
Puff is there, and it's all about him. And I'll never forget, he got mad at me.
So Jamie Foxx suffered a very serious medical emergency that landed him in the hospital.
Yo, Fox and I came. Watch it. Puff sitting there. So it's kind of, I'm like, damn, this shit is crazy, man, huh? So what I did was, I would show up to the party in my little town car. That's town, I grabbed me a town car so I could skirt. Puff the SUVs and the Bentleys, the whole night. He get out. I get out too with a camera, the big Canon. Like, yo, Puff, I should document this shit, right? Yo, what's up, Playboy? What you talking about? I said, no, I should get this, man. You, Fonz, the whole nine. He says, yeah, let him through. Excuse me. So I get the, but at that time, it wasn't like the little camera y'all got. It was the big intrusive Canon. I had a battery pack. Hold on, man. Let me change the pack. Put my light on here. Do that again, Puff. Do that again. I missed that one. Do that again. Put the pack. So I started following him. Wow. So I followed him the whole time. I remember watching Puff at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I'm filming this. And it's a pool party that is ridiculous, man. And I look up and I see Dr. Ruth. I don't know if you know who that is. The sex lady. The sex lady. I see Dr. Ruth. I said, Miss Ruth, could you please come over here? This guy by the name of Sean P. Diddy Combs. I need you to come meet him. I need this for my camera. Dr. Ruth and Puff at the Beverly Hills Hotel pool dancing, doing their thing, right? And you know what they dancing to? Over in the corner, God bless, is Heavy D, Andre Harrell, and they listening to a demo. You know what the demo is? Right. Bum, 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 bum.
Beyonce.
That's
crazy.
Wow. And then Andre Harrell, run that back. That's the one right there. That's going to be the one. You just missed that, the ordering of the champagne, the whole nine. Country, get this. You call me country, I'm going to take country, get this. So I'm filming it. That's the one. That's the record right there. Run it back. Bun. So Dr. Ruth, Puff dancing, right? All of a sudden I get this, and then I flip the camera this way, there's Demi Moore and some young dude. I don't know who the dude is. So I said, Puff, who that? Oh, that's the young cat. I asked him question. I said, cool. So I asked.
Right there was one of the moments right there that possibly got Jamie in trouble. You know why? What did he just say? There's such and such with this young dude. At that time, Demi Moore was getting the backlash of dating young men. And who does he say she was dating? Ashton Kutcher.
Demi Moore, I said, is it cool if I? She said, sure, whatever. It was probably a wild night. Sure. So I watched when they first.
Notice what he said also, which possibly got him in trouble. Wild night at the Sheraton with Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, and him. There was a rumor going around that the reason why Diddy was even upset about this was that Jamie mentioned the whole infatuation with young boys. So now I wonder, were the rumors true because of what Jamie just said about the party with Demi Moore, him, and Ashton Kutcher?
Got together. So what happened was, I'm following Puff, and his parties were like amazing. We were in Philly one day. I fly to Philly, town car, same business, go up. But Puff say, this party, Playboy, this party right here, I see $1.5 million. I said, nigga, what? You spent $1.5 million on this party? I said, you come to my house, I'll throw you a party for $400, and it will rival this, not in scale, but the people there, because that's how I started. I was the first social media dude. When I would do stand-up, I had cue cards. This is 91. I had cue cards, and I would have people sign and put their pager numbers on it. And I would call during the week, yo, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here. So I had 800 signatures, 600 women, 200 guys. So it became a floating party. So when Puff came to LA, he said, yo, Playboy, Saturday morning, make that shit happen. I said, I'm on it. Went into my phones, called 200, because I didn't have a big house, 200 of my best friends, girls that were beautiful but not tight, but not slutty, just in the daytime. It's daytime. So this is my daytime crew, right? He get there, he goes, that's the girl on this movie, and that's the girl on that. I said, yeah, we all hang out. We ain't got no money, but we all hang out together. I said, look on the table. Kentucky Fried Chicken, but I put on some nice plates and some cola and a picture and the whole nine. And it was great. He had a great time. And that was that same party that Pharrell was at. But what I started doing in order to get artists together, I said, Puff, you don't understand. When we watch you from New York, you're bigger than life to us. I said, so the $1.5 million, yeah, you can do that, but it don't matter. Because a New York fitted baseball cap is how much retail?
Like $25.
$25, right?
Yeah.
I said, Puff, but on your head, it's priceless. And I said, now watch this. And I played pong, pong, ping, pong, 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 pong. And the LA niggas was mad. They was like, hey, look here, cuz, hey, fuck that shit, dog. Fuck that shit, dog. That motherfucker. I said, look, you got these LA niggas gone. And it was moments like that. It was like, and then I had a studio in the back. So every time somebody would come over, I would ask them to drop music there. Puff, Snoop, because I wanted to get in the music business. But we also started doing this thing called New Music Album. So any person that came to the house that had a song or could do stand-up with it, you could perform. No one was allowed to boo or nothing like this. Watch who benefited from it. Nick Cannon used to sleep on my couch. Wow. 13 years old. He'd be in one part of the house. He'd be like, can I?
Record scratch. Who used to be there at 13 years old? Nick Cannon? Now, there were also rumors about that as well back in the day. About Nick Cannon and Diddy. Number 2. Possible reason for Mr. Jamie ended up in the hospital.
Nigga, go back in there. You can't. Fuck back in there. You can't come in here. And he be like this, right? He slept on the couch. Ed Sheeran was the latest. Ed Sheeran slept. Wow. Ed Sheeran, my new house. Ed Sheeran slept on my studio floor for 6 weeks.
Amen.
Working on this shit. 6 weeks. So what we do, like I said, what's great about what we do is that we have. I had Anthony Hamilton. I remember Anthony Hamilton had he said, man, nobody want to hear me sing. I go watch it. I would go follow him and watch him sing in places. I'd be the only one in there. It was like he had to sing at this one little open mic thing, and he was singing. I'm like, sing, Anthony! Let the Lord use you, Anthony! Sing, son, sing! I mean, it's great. So the last one we had, I'm gonna tell you the ones that we had. It was amazing, and then I'm gonna go. When Drake hit, I'm in the Bahamas, baby. I'm in the Bahamas. My sister hit me. My sister, she here, dark skin, always in touch. Nigga, you need to get this Drake. I said, nigga, I hit the internet. I said, oh, nigga, I'm in my robe. I grabbed some wine. I said, I forgot to call you on your birthday. Said I said, I gotta find that dude. So Breon finds him. We actually do a song together. But I was watching him, and I took him on when the redheaded guy took over for Jay Leno.
Oh,
Conan.
Conan.
I took him on Conan. I said, Conan, you don't know who this dude is. I said, his name is Drake, and 2 girls and all that. I said, y'all up on it. He about to be the big dude. So when Drake rolled out his thing, his first album, I said, Drake, I'm gonna do a thing for you. My house is called New Music Hour, and I call this On My Balcony. I want you to come get on my balcony. So what do you mean? I said, don't worry about it. You'll see. I said, the SUVs will pick you up, bring you.
Now, of course, this shows the full clip of what Jamie was talking about in the interview, but we've gotten through the gist of things, of course. Now, regardless, Jimmy was talking about himself with the Nick Cannon thing. But, as I said before, the whole wild party with Demi Moore, Ashton Kutcher, and him, on top of him mentioning, remember, Jamie Foxx has also been mentioned along with Usher, along with Nelly, along with a few other people, as far as having certain relations with Diddy. So him saying that while he's also talking about this behind the scenes, mind you, I don't think Jamie even knows he's being filmed here. I truly don't think Jamie knows that he's being filmed on a phone. This looks like it's on an Android camera. It looks like it was recent at that. This looks like it was very recent. And Jamie had no idea that he was even being filmed or that this was going to get out, that he was talking about all this stuff. But someone else that they didn't expect to say things. Now, this gentleman was recently in the news for the whole, Diddy got Pop murdered. Now, we covered all that on the podcast before of the Biggie and Pac murder. We've covered that before. But this time, Keefy D's segment here in this clip was actually talking about a certain party that he went to.
And Will Smith, you told me before that you was at a party before that they attended, and you said the party was weird. Tell me about that.
Okay.
Now, notice that name that he said in the beginning, because that name is going to frequent. I'm just going to tell you right now, that name is going to frequent. Will Smith. And it's not a coincidence either.
This is boxer. His name's Twan. He's from our neighborhood. He was married to Tanisha Arnold. The broad played Pam on Martin Lawrence. We went to the party with her. I mean, it was matter of fact, it was a set it off party. Jada Pickett, Vivica Fox, all of them was there. You know what I'm saying? It was just seemed like Puff and Tupac was like a couple, seemed like to me. It was just a lot of weird shit going on, you know what I'm saying? The vibes ain't there. I guess that's what Tupac was talking about, the Illuminati and shit. It's like Vivica Fox was with this big gay man. He was 6'9". They called him, his name 6'9". He had the red hair with a big old booty and shit.
Now, funny he says that. Not to get off topic, but doesn't that sound like a certain somebody that's in the industry right now? A certain person that has the same similar, numbers, 6'9"? Makes you wonder where you got the name from, huh?
Gay and I'm over, what the fuck is going on here? It's just a lot of weird shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? That shit, it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what Tupac, I guess he wanted to get up out of the Illuminati or something. But I seen her there. Matter of fact, MC Lyte pulled off with Tanisha Arnold. You know what I'm saying? In her brand new 560, black one. Yeah, that shit weird, dude. Yeah, that's some weird ass shit going on, you know? Yeah.
And what was Tupac doing at the party, yo?
Him and Puff was there together. They was there, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't know how they fucking fell out or nothing like that. They was road dogs. You know what I'm saying? They even got pictures of him. He got on that blue sweater with the turtleneck. Him and him hugged up like this with the black hat. Have you ever seen that picture?
Nah, I don't recall, but I'm pretty sure I came across it.
Yeah. That picture there, that they was at that party that day. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of weird shit. That whole fucking, yeah, that shit weird, dude. Yeah, bunch of, it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no gay basher or none. I mean, none of that shit, but that shit ain't right. You know what I'm saying? That whole party was weirdoed out. Yeah, and it was Jada Pickett. But
You saying the whole party was weird. What did you see at the party that made it weird? I mean, I'm confused.
I guess it was the Illuminati. It's just weird. I know I wouldn't want to be part of no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm from the old school, dude, and that shit wasn't really tolerated with my generation. You know what I'm saying?
Notice how he keeps saying that, but he won't exactly say what he was seeing. But you can put two and two together as far as what you think he might have been seeing. Him saying he saw Tanisha Arnold and MC Lyte leave together. Two females leave together. As far as him emphasizing the leave together part. He saw Diddy and Pac together. Which, rest in peace, God bless the dead. There were rumors about Pac. Unfortunately. Yes, there were rumors about Pac back then, unfortunately. About these same accusations. So it makes sense. We're talking about, Keefe D saying, it's an Illuminati party. And who comes out with a group called Killuminati? We're going to kill the Illuminati later on. Tupac, right? Are we following along here? Notice, this is also Keefe D, who we talked about in the podcast, who said that, did he try to have Pac murdered?
Yeah, hate crime, yes, but it's more tolerated these days and nothing like that. It's more, you know what I'm saying, more open now, you know what I'm saying? But back then it was kind of fishy, you know what I'm saying? Still kind of fishy, you know, but it's more, you know, out there now.
The incident y'all had with Warren G and Kid Frost. Tell me about that, my man.
Okay, Kid Frost had gave a party at the House of Blues. One of our big homeboys wanted to go with us. You know what I'm saying? So he went with us and he said, "Ooh, you young niggas having fun." So one of Kid Frost's homies still on my big homie. But he didn't know that he was around, it was maybe about 20 of us. So the dude that socked my big homie, we beat the dog shit out of him. So my big homie, he came to. He like, "That's the motherfucker?" We like, "Yeah." And there was two security guards had him. Had the dude that we beat up from Kid Frost entourage. So my big homie knocked that motherfucker out while the yellow jacket, the yellow jackets with the event security, they had the dude. So my homie still knocking him out. Boom! So the dude with the yellow jacket was talking shit. "Man, what the fuck is wrong with him?" My homeboy knock out him too. Bam! Like, whoa. So the other one like, "Man, he got back." Little Jamaican dude come up talking shit. "Man, you going crazy?" My homeboy sock him too. So we went down to get our car for valet. And it was the dude, "It's LBC." And he like, "What the fuck is that?" And he said, "It's Long Beach City Crip." So my homeboy knew this dude was an imposter. If you from Long Beach, you gonna say Rolling 20s or Insane. You know what I'm saying? You gonna say a real block boy. You know what I'm saying? 19th Street. You gonna say something. A real Crip. So this nigga say he from Long Beach City Crip. My homeboy like, "Wait a minute." And knocked him out too. So Warren G and them was down there, him and Cedric Wallace waiting on their cars. And they seen my homeboy get busy like that, so they had left before us, went up to Fat Burgers. So we came, got in our shit. They finally brought our cars from valet. We went up to Fat Burgers. And Warren G and Cedric Sabalas was up there already, eating their shit and shit. So we came in there. The big homie like, hey, motherfucker. He pointed at Cedric Sabalas, like, man, you been dumping us for years, mother. I'm losing all my motherfucking money betting on your motherfucking ass. So Warren G was right there. He like, my homie like, man, that's a nice ass watch. So he like, man, let me try that on. You know what I'm saying? So by then, somebody got my homeboy attention, and he turned his head. Shit, Cedric Sabalas and what's his name was in he was in a ragtop 500 Benz. This motherfucker like jumped off. I mean, he drove up off the motherfucker. He didn't even pay attention to the curve. He jumped off of the curve instead of using the driveway. That shit was funny as mother. My homeboy like, damn, he almost bust his whole fucking engine block. Yeah.
I guess the guy was trying to flee. He was trying to flee the scene after that to get away from him. But needless to say, that was a pretty wild night that Keefe D had. Speaking of having wild nights, not to get too far off topic, someone else had a wild time with Mr. Diddy that people are saying. A wild time in Miami.
College. YK Osiris, are you going to help me get into acting?
He want to do some acting. He
said he wanted to do
was
some
up
acting.
here. He said that you was supposed to sign, put him in power or something.
Now, who remembers the clip that we did on the podcast of YK Osiris and Diddy? See, this isn't the first time that I've even brought up the rumors that people are saying about Diddy. This is not the first time. So, interesting enough, let's revisit what happened when 50 Cent was asked about YK Osiris. And YK Osiris's reply at that.
Asking you to put him in power or something.
The good guy is a personality. I think a bigger personality than artists, like as far as the songwriter and stuff like that. Because when you watch him, like when I see him on the clips and stuff like that. Nah, he like that in person too. It's a ton of personality there. So, when we find the right thing, we can get him in there.
Tell him the story. Tell him the story. So we talking about rumors, right?
Yeah.
And when you Google his name, there's a rumor that pops up that he was Diddy's boy toy.
Oh shit!
Right?
Wait, so this is
so Charlamagne said
it's not true, but I told after he brought up this stuff with you, I said, you know what 50 gonna say when he meets you? Oh no, I don't know that was going on. You know, I can't wait to run into him again. What you gonna say to him? Puffy was playing with your booty in Miami. You know it was in Miami. Yo, look, that's what James Cruz used to say all the time. Miami. He's like, Miami. I'm like, what's the matter? What you talking about, Miami? Goodness, man. What happened in Miami?
Play the audio.
Man, I'm messing 50. He good, man. Yeah. He gonna be even worse with his film. Yeah, he gonna, we just been, but it's come here.
You know what 50 gonna say to you when he see you?
What?
I heard Diddy touched your butt.
I already know it. Yeah. Wait till I see him. Wait till I see him. I'm like, yo.
So, and we don't have to go back, of course, into the clip of YK Osiris responding. You saw the clip right there. Or should I say you heard the clip of him responding right there. And like I said, we covered it on the podcast and showed YK Osiris's actual response. We went into the entire what if on that whole scenario, right? But, as I said, we're now up to what? About 5 or 6 different people? We're up to about 4 or 5 people now, right? 4 or 5 different people are saying, I don't know, the same thing. I don't know, y'all. What do y'all think? Are the rumors possibly true about what people are saying? I wonder. Well, besides Usher, there was another young child that was rumored to be, with Diddy.
There was a time where I was
sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, shrooms, everything. And it was just an escape from.
And then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay, I get the mansion?
Yeah.
Diddy's secret is out again, and this time around, we're looking at what he did to Usher and Justin Bieber. Now, we all know he mentored Usher and all, but what if we told you that Diddy was also probably abusing not just Usher, but also 15-year-old Justin Bieber? Ready to find out more about Diddy's dirty secrets? Then welcome to Gay Bible, and let's get started. Before we go into details, y'all need to keep this in mind first.
48 hours. Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose.
Okay, now please hold that thought for us.
Excuse me? What we're hanging out and what we're doing, we can't really disclose? Excuse me?
Because we're coming right back to it. Now, it would interest you all to know that Diddy took Justin Bieber under his care for 48 hours about 14 years ago when the superstar was just a teenager. Now, we all know Diddy's history with teenage boys. I mean, remember what happened to Usher?
There to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
Well, it seems like Diddy might have repeated history with Justin Bieber. I mean, first off, Diddy is not to be trusted with young boys due to the past allegations against him from the FBI. But recently, a clip surfaced, and we can't help but feel like Diddy might have done some wrong things to poor young Justin. So first, he gets to spend 48 hours with a powerful and famous celebrity, and that's where the whole thing gets tricky. I mean, we all knew what Usher faced when he hung out with older celebrities as a teenager. It may have been fun, but definitely not the kind of fun a child at that age should be exposed to. Back to the gist. Diddy took Justin to a Ferrari that had been packed in the garage and told him he could let him ride it as soon as he turned 16. Now, Justin was only 15 at the time. He tries getting ahead of himself, but Diddy tells him to slow down.
As soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come in LA. Yeah, this will be yours. So, every time you come in LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, look at the front shot of this.
Man.
Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down there, you gotta, wear your seatbelt.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
All right, 16.
You're not ready.
16.
Slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah.
Now, Diddy didn't just stop at giving Justin the Ferrari.
Speaking of slowing down, it's a little ironic. Speaking that we're talking about Justin, that Justin just, recently lost his voice and ability to speak recently as well.
Guess what he did next, guys? He offered Justin the mansion and told him he could have it when he turned 18.
Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay, I get the mansion?
Yeah.
Now, this sounds like a wild dream for a kid, don't you think? I mean, first, Diddy promises Justin a Ferrari by 16, and next, he also promises Justin the mansion when he's just 18. So what could have been Diddy's motive for giving Justin these exorbitant gifts? We know Justin was a superstar kid and all. Still, given Diddy's history, we cannot help but think that perhaps he gave Justin these gifts just to lure him into certain activities that aren't proper for him to be engaged in. Not that there's anything wrong in giving him these things, but some parental guidance could have been instrumental here. Who knows? Anyways, Justin was very excited at the offer, and he obviously couldn't say no. I mean, who would? But Diddy said something that we cannot overlook. Now, back to the clip that you saw earlier that we asked you to keep in mind.
Like, where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose.
Please, who can tell us what Diddy could possibly want to do with young Justin that he couldn't mention in front of the camera? Thanks to his obvious body language, Diddy acted suspicious and Justin looked clueless. Could there be something that Diddy was gonna do that he didn't want anyone to know about? Well, we already knew what he did with Usher. The young and innocent Usher was exposed to explicit activities carried out by other celebrities under Diddy's watch. And not just that, he and Diddy even shared a bed. Man, this is really disturbing. Could that be what he wanted to do with young Justin as well? Expose him to things improper for his age. I mean, Diddy even confessed he didn't have legal custody over Justin as he had with Usher, so he had no right to expose Justin the way he did. The ultimate proof that Justin was influenced negatively is his confession of his struggles with addiction and breaking the law. The superstar opened up in his docuseries that he was using drugs early in his career and couldn't do without them.
There was a time where I was sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, shrooms, everything, and it was just an escape.
I mean, doesn't that sound like Diddy's influence? We can connect these dots because Justin was signed to Usher when he started his music career. After performing for Usher at the studio, it didn't take long for Usher to sign him, giving Diddy access to Justin because Usher was mentored and groomed by Diddy. As we clearly saw, it didn't go well for Justin. According to
Ironic how, the apple didn't fall far from the tree there, right? As they just said. And we don't have to, there's a million shorts and clips going around about the whole, we used to wake up and wrestle over the Frosted Flakes with Usher, right? Usher getting a little uncomfortable as Diddy had his arm over him. It's a bunch of those clips going around. So, ironically, who signs Justin Bieber? Usher. Who has custody of Justin Bieber right after that and signs him? Diddy? Coinky dink?
him, he said he wanted to have a sustainable heart and career. He also told fans that he didn't want to fall apart as he needed to fix some deep-rooted issues in his life. And thanks to his wife Haley and other people around him, he had all the support he needed to fight off the bad influence from his teenage years and get clean. Unfortunately, Diddy's got a long history of sexual scandals, and it doesn't just end with his alleged abuse of underage boys. Aside from the FBI's investigation, which took place some time ago, Diddy is also known to sexually abuse other celebrities just to show him he's more powerful than them. Christopher Williams was one of the victims of his abuse, and thanks to the attorney who exposed him, we wouldn't have known about it. I mean, Jaguar Wright is notorious for calling people out in the industry and talking about their dirty secrets. And to be honest, we could have overlooked her accusations against Diddy about how the lawyer caught Chris giving him a blow and how Diddy threatened her not to tell anyone about what she saw. But with all this evidence glaring at us, we can't help but believe that Diddy may not just be gay, but perhaps he's also a sexual assaulter. There's just too much going around for us to ignore. Even some of his colleagues have accused him of being gay. A good example is 50 Cent, who insinuated,
which we just got into, of course, 50 Cent saying something. But I had to let him go as well. I had to let Chris go because there's no actual clip or footage of people talking about that. But yes, there's only the Drink Champs interviews and people, quote unquote, saying it and rumors about the whole Chris giving Diddy a blowjob and the secretary walking in on it. So, like I said, that's been a very, very running rumor, a very long time running rumor that's been going around about Chris giving Diddy the blowjob to keep his job. That's not a new one at all. But real quick, since we're on Justin Bieber, who remembers this? Did y'all see it? I'll let you look at it again, and I want you to look at, pause, I want you to notice Odell Beckham's boxers. They're black with a gray stripe over it. So, one has to ask themselves, what the hell was going on in this clip here? A good hint that'll tell you what's going on is the guy in the red hat right now. Now, I'll tell you another hint that's what's going on right now. Trey Songz being surprised at the camera being on and going, oh, as Odell is now pulling his pants up, shocked at the camera looking at him. Well, who's that down there? Happy New Year! Woo! A very young, drunk, and obviously high Justin Bieber, who dealt with addiction at that time. The industry, man. I'll tell you. But let's get back to, the man of the hour.
But he got a boss too, and his boss name is Clive Davis. Clive.
So, rumor had been going around that Clive Davis had been in a relationship with P. Diddy for years. In fact, a lot of people are saying that the whole reason that Bad Boy was even, that the whole record deal, the label, everything, it came from Clive Davis. The advance money, everything, it came from Clive Davis.
Run him. Diddy don't run himself. But
P. Diddy, known as Puff Daddy, known as Sean Combs. Allegedly in 1994, Sean Combs requested doing sexual favors for Clive Davis so that Bad Boy Records could be what it is.
So there's one part he picked up some things from up here on my left side. And then he picked quite a few of them down. I was like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there and it said butt plugs.
From secret relationships to wild explicit parties, Hollywood is without a doubt the home of dirty secrets and bizarre scandals. But even with all that, the music industry seems to be the worst of the bunch, as the scandals that pop out there are unending. And now, industry legend and record producer Clive Davis has been caught up in quite the mix. While it started out as just rumors, the cat's finally out of the bag about how Clive has dated Diddy for over 5 years. Diddy is widely recognized as one of the most accomplished record producers and label owners in the music industry, having established Bad Boy Records, which has been home to high-profile artists such as the notorious Big and Usher. However, there is a curious question about how his company achieved such rapid success. The musician Jaguar Wright is discussing Diddy's influence on the music industry and his considerable wealth.
Puff be moving niggas around, But he got that catalog. He got that catalog, and he's been making money off of it. And it bought that big old mansion down the street from Rape Central.
What was the path that led a 23-year-old rising star to the pinnacle of the music industry in such a short period? Perhaps the answer lies in his close association with a heavyweight figure, Clive Davis. Although Clive Davis has gained fame for his music productions, he is currently the subject of discussions regarding his romantic pursuits. Following 2 marriages and subsequent divorces, Clive embarked on a journey of self-exploration to determine if he could be attracted to men as well.
I opened up myself after the failure of my second marriage, never having had anything with a man, to see, could I be attracted to the person and not the gender?
As a result of this introspection, Clive came to the realization that his sexual orientation was not entirely heterosexual, contrary to what he had believed for the first 50 years of his life.
And I did find that I could be attracted to a man, while I still am very attracted to a woman.
Following this revelation, Clive made the decision to pursue a relationship with a man, feeling that this was the appropriate time in his life to do so.
Then, in 1990, he entered into a monogamous relationship with an unnamed male doctor. That relationship ended in 2004.
Clive says he has never been ashamed to admit his attraction to men. I never felt shame. No, I felt puzzled. The subject of bisexuality really needs much more discussion. It's a status that does exist. Subsequently, Clive entered into a committed relationship with another man, which continues to this day. After years of confusion, it has now been confirmed that the identity of Clive's partner is none other than Diddy.
P. Diddy, known as Puff Daddy, known as Sean Combs. Allegedly in 1994, Sean Combs requested doing sexual favors for Clive Davis so that Bad Boy Records could be what it is.
Rumors surrounding the circumstances of Diddy's music career have persisted for years. However, it is now evident that the two were romantically involved for a period of 5 years. While Clive has acknowledged that his partner accompanies him to events and travels with him, he has declined to disclose his name. Nevertheless, it has become increasingly apparent that Diddy is the artist most frequently seen by Clive's side at events. Merely attending the same events may not be definitive proof, but the fact that both Clive and Diddy are openly gay and frequently seen together at social gatherings strongly suggests that there is a significant connection between them. The close bond between Diddy and Clive has been well established over the years. During this time, Clive has been in a committed relationship with a man, while Diddy has faced accusations of being closeted. Given these circumstances, the possibility of a romantic connection between the two is quite plausible. Furthermore, Clive has been open about his sexuality and relationships, yet he has never denied these rumors, further strengthening their validity. Diddy has remained silent on the matter as well. Diddy crossed paths with Clive when he was a 23-year-old aspiring artist looking to break into the cutthroat music industry. However, his hip-hop concepts managed to impress the legendary Clive, who was searching for a performer who could truly connect with the public. Clive has spoken about their initial encounter, stating that he found precisely what he was seeking in Diddy. Puffy was 23 years old and I knew the artists that I had, Aretha, Dion, Whitney, was one kind of music. Davis says, LaFace ushered in blue-collared R&B at its height. But, sensing the hip-hop revolution, both Lay and I agreed that we could use someone really attuned to the street. You gotta know what you can do for yourself, and you gotta know when you need to look to other people. During that period, Diddy was employed under Andre Hall at Uptown Records. However, meeting Clive Davis proved to be a pivotal moment in his career as he was able to make a lasting impression on the music mogul with his words, as Clive himself recounts. When I met with Puffy, he articulated that hip-hop should be part of the top 40 mainstream and that the business would change in the future. And I said, what have you got to illustrate that point? And he played me Craig Max Flavin in your ear, and he played me the then unknown artist that he felt and believed so strongly. He played me 4 or 5 cuts from Notorious B.I.G. Diddy's words were compelling enough to persuade Clive, who promptly informed him that he had effectively conveyed his vision. I said, okay, you proved your point. That's when I introduced him to the weekly, what we called singles meetings. I introduced him to an executive there as someone who would help lead us to the street and share in the forthcoming hip-hop revolution. While Diddy's swift rise to stardom may appear to have been the result of a straightforward exchange with Clive, the reality is far from what Clive has presented over the years. As it turns out, this encounter served as a facade for Clive's pursuit of sexual relationships with men, and Diddy was not the only person he engaged in such behavior with. It has been demonstrated that Clive has engaged with promising young artists, making assurances of a prosperous career in the music industry before getting romantically involved with them. Diddy appears to have avoided being cast aside after his relationship with Clive, as Clive provided him with assistance in launching his own record label, Bad Boy Records, and continued to support it for a number of years. Although Clive has been candid about his sexuality, Diddy has not addressed the matter himself. However, there have been indications to the contrary. It is, in fact, widely recognized that Diddy is gay, as he has been observed engaging in behavior that suggests it. Keith D, a notorious gangster who frequents celebrity circles, once caught Diddy engaging in suspicious behavior with another man at a party.
Puff and Tupac was like a couple, it seemed like to me. It was just a lot of weird shit going on, you know what I'm saying?
Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal had several stories about Diddy's behavior indicating his sexuality. On one occasion, Gene witnessed Diddy and another rapper exiting a room wearing only towels.
Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked.
It's clear that Diddy wasn't particularly worried about Gene knowing his true sexuality. Even after his ex-wife Kim Porter passed away, the former bodyguard revealed that while they were married, Diddy had already been getting with whichever man or woman he wanted. Diddy has shown interest in other male rappers and artists and once made advances towards 50 Cent, but the latter promptly rejected him.
At Chris Lighty's wedding, he told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Everybody see, don't make like it's just me, man. Puffy do some like, little fluffy stuff.
Diddy allegedly invited 50 Cent for a shopping trip, which some speculate was actually an invitation for something more than just shopping. Usher has also shared some interesting stories about his time spent at Diddy's house.
Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor
some...
Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what...
Flavor Camp. Yeah, Flavor Camp. You heard it. Flavor Camp. So, I mean, where we at? 10? I'm probably being a little exaggerated. We're about 7, 8, right? About 7, 8 different people, right? All have different rumors involved with this gentleman, right? I'm just saying. You know how they say telephone? Everybody playing telephone? That eventually enough people say it, you know, enough people play telephone, if there's too many people playing it, the wrong rumor gets just thrown out of whack, right? This ain't telephone here. Because it sounds like everybody's saying the same exact shit. I'm just saying. It sounds like to me everybody's saying the same thing. Let's go with another person.
Diddy has been making the rounds with however many ladies as he can, yet it hasn't halted the reports about his clashing sexuality. 25-year-old Jay Versace has quite recently added to the tales with claims that while visiting Diddy at his home months prior, the rapper bent him over on his monster outside bed, guaranteeing that Jay's vague remarks affirms Diddy's secret gay exercises. Jay Versace is an American social media personality who is known for his comedic content and as being the funniest teenager on the internet. When he was at the peak of his fame, Diddy invited him over to his Los Angeles mansion for a party. A gathering of some female TikTokers posted a throwback pic showing them playing on Diddy's outdoor bed. That's when Jay crept into the comments and made a few touchy charges towards Diddy, revealing Diddy had him bent over on the bed. Jay did not explain the circumstances around him being folded over with Diddy.
Okay. So, and that was a brief synopsis of it. Because I started to pull up the clip too, of that whole little party or whatever. But I mean, I saw the picture. Everybody knows about the TikTok video of the little girls posting the party that Jay Versace was at. We ain't got to show that. But y'all saw the comment from Jay Versace himself. Yo, I remember that shit. Number one, I had a little bitch even get this video. Number two, I remember that vaguely. I got bent over at that party. By who? I got bent over by Diddy. Excuse me? Again, we say. How many times we gonna hear it? How many times we gonna hear about the same person? Right? We got another one? I don't even know how many we up to now. This is the bodyguard, Gene Deal, that was outside of a certain room.
First and foremost, I just want to say, I know a lot of people want to hear these stories and everything like that, because this is stuff that happened back in the day. And then maybe that if they knew there was going to ever be a YouTube, or they knew there was going to ever be social media, a lot of the stuff probably wouldn't have got played out like it did. But things happen, and these are just stories from the past. I would like to use that as, what you call that, just to clear the facts up what's going on. A disclaimer. But it all started, we was in Atlanta. And this story starts when I'm with Puff, and he's in exotic bookstores, and he's doing shopping, right? He's shopping, getting his stuff and everything like that. So, you know, this is the first time I was ever in an exotic bookstore with Puff. So, you know, I'm giving him his space. He's taking things off the shelves and stuff like that, because they gave him a brown paper bag. When they gave him a brown paper bag, he was just putting stuff in there. So I said, damn, you know, he got to go put it on the counter and, you know, show everybody what he's getting. So as he going, I'm just looking at the places where he picking stuff from. So there's one part he picked up some things from up here on my left side. And then he picked like quite a few of them down. I was like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there, and it said butt plugs. And I was like, hey, yo. I was messing with him.
Story sounds familiar, right? We done heard that story in a few different clips, haven't we? Let's figure out who he was talking about finally, huh?
People don't understand, you know, we was like friends. He was a part of the same gang, so I'm still gonna tease him. I'm still gonna mess with him and everything like that. I could do that. It wasn't just no security thing. So I say, yo, what are you getting this for? And it said butt plugs, and he was like, yo, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, yeah, you could do it by yourself, brother. And he started walking and everything like that. So when he got to, I just waited at the counter. So when he got to the counter, he didn't even have to show the guy nothing. He just gave the guy a wad of money. I mean, like, he gave the guy a stack something like this. And Puff wasn't the dude that carried no 20s and no 50s or nothing like that. And I mean, like, he just said, boom. And we walked out the store. So we had to leave Atlanta and go to North Carolina for a show. You understand? And it was him, this rapper, Sarah, and this other girl. We all got on a G5 jet, and we flew to G4 jet, and we flew to North Carolina. So later on that, I think that afternoon, same day, this rapper and him, they all in the room together. You know, it's Sarah, the girl, Puff, and this dude, this rapper. So I'm hearing at the door and stuff like that, like, yeah. So then next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. We had the presidential suite where we was at. So I opened the door and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now.
I bet the fuck he is. Excuse me? Who's in the room? Y'all heard it. Mr. Ja Rule was in the room with Diddy. I wonder what was going on.
He said, he busy doing what? I said, he with Puff. They're in the room. They busy. They don't want to be bothered. He said, well, I'm going in there. I said, bruh, you ain't going in there because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothering them. And he was like, yo, I don't care, man. I'm going in there. That bullshit like that. I said, yo, bruh, Jesus Christ had to come down here and take the air out of my body before you get in that room right there. Watch. He tried to bum rush me. I grabbed his and threw him against the piano. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Ja was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, Gene, that's my cousin. He know me well. You know, and Puff was like, yo, Gene, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room because there's a lot of freaking going on.
Wow. Wowzers.
So I was like, oh, he said it was a lot of freaky going on. So that was basically that story, man. You know what I'm saying? They went back in the room. Dude felt a certain kind of way, and he left out. So I seen them at the concert the next day, and they tried to, form up against me. But my man Frank was like, I told my man Frank, I was like, yo, Frank, put yourself in that position. Somebody trying to get in the room, and Ja told you don't let nobody get in the room. What would you do? Now, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, man, but I ain't taking no losses. He said, yo, you good, and that was it. Bruh, when Ja said, you don't want to come up in there, a lot of freaky stuff is going on. You got to use your mind. What they was doing with those butt plugs.
Right. Yeah, that's
that was
wild.
crazy. Yeah, it was real wild.
I'm just saying. How many people are going to say the same thing? Now, that's Gene Deal. If y'all don't know who Gene Deal is, we've covered a couple of times Gene Deal being on the podcast. We've covered a couple of Gene Deal clips. Gene Deal, if you subscribe to Gene Deal if you haven't to already, okay? Because Gene Deal does a lot of this. Gene Deal has a lot of stories on Diddy because he was the bodyguard back then. He was close, okay? He was numero uno close to Diddy back then. So if anybody knows all this shit, it is Gene fucking Deal. Gene Deal was able to identify the man that shot Big, but they never questioned him because of his perfect memory that he had and able to identify things to a T. He was able to give the illustration basically that he gave the detective that he was asked for was never even given and passed in. On that documentary that we showed on the actual podcast before, Gene Deal was shown that illustration. He was like, yo, that's the first time I've ever seen that before. They actually even kept that? The guy was like, reporter was like, journalist, yeah, this is the illustration from the actual crime scene that day. It's like, yo, bruh, they never even showed me my own illustration when I gave them the identification of the man. So Gene Deal has been around for quite some time. Okay? Gene Deal was very, very, very close to Diddy. The only reason he's not close to Diddy anymore is because of that Biggie murder. Again, we won't get into the whole Biggie and Pac murder thing. But, shall we continue? Let's continue with Gene Deal, shall we? Because Gene Deal also had some other information on that as well. Let's transition, shall we?
I don't know if you've seen this, right? But it was on social media. I think the Shade Room, they posted it. It was a DIDDY post that they posted. And Cassie, her husband, left a comment
Right.
and called Diddy old and fruity. How you feel about him saying that?
I think that him and Cassie be pillow talking. That's his wife. He didn't see Cassie can't say anything because he made her sign ND, a non-disclosure. But she can whisper things in her husband's ear. And some of the stuff that she's probably saw had to go through with dude, her husband just speaking on it. He can't say where he got it from. But then again, he got to know. People got to know where he got it from. That's his wife. Yes, he's an older guy. He might be a whole lot of fruity too. But Cassie would know that just like Kim knew that.
So you feel like Cassie is the one that's telling her husband stuff behind the scenes about Puffy?
Right. And you got to realize he was their trainer. He was her trainer before he became her husband. So she may have was telling him stuff way before they was even married. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. So before we get off of this topic, right, because I'm sure people is going to want me to ask you being around Puffy, is there any truth to him being fruity?
I don't know what you mean by really, do I see this man being fruity? Does a man like other men? I think he's brother love. He love other men. Bruh, I can say this, and I'm going to leave it at that when I say it. And this is not something that, really interests me. It might interest the viewers and everything like that, but they live this weird rock and roll lifestyle where they touchy-feely with each other. And all I could say in situations like that is that if two men lay down, how many fruity men get up?
Very bland question. Very bland question. But, very obvious question, too. Two lay down, how many get up? I mean, no answer to that. Rhetorical. But, reason why I say transition is because who did he just talk about just now? Cassie, right? Cassie pillow talking with her husband right now. That's why the lawsuit case and rape, right? Husband also ran, I think, about 50 miles for her. Shout out to the homie. Shout out to the homie. Shout out to the husband. You know what I'm saying? Ran 50 miles for her for domestic violence. So, like I said, it ain't no wonder everybody's saying the same exact thing about Diddy. It's not a coincidence about that part, right? But something else ain't a coincidence that everybody talking about is this whole Cassie, Kim Porter, Carisha. Seems to be a pattern with certain things, right? A little bit of pattern of things. Like I said, I ain't gotta say shit. People talking. Like I said, it's a big pinata. They got a hole poked in it by Miss Cassie Ventura. So, why don't we get into, I don't know, why Cassie's saying what she's saying right now?
A shocked and devastated Diddy spotted at the home where his ex suddenly and mysteriously died. Her good friend Kimora Lee Simmons appearing inconsolable at the house, 47-year-old Porter's body found after a desperate call to 911.
EMS 14, respond with engine 76 on scene of the cardiac arrest.
Tonight, Kim's untimely death raising questions and sending shockwaves through Hollywood. She was the fashion model, actress, and world-famous mother to Diddy's kids.
Extra, extra.
With the hip-hop superstar and their children as he received his star on the Walk of Fame.
We're gonna make sure we have this moment right here.
She was last seen looking happy and healthy with her ex and their children at this event just 16 days before her death. TMZ reporting she had been suffering from flu-like symptoms and possibly pneumonia, but an official cause has yet to be released. People reporting she and her longtime love, Sean Combs, remained close friends and co-parents. A source saying they were still a family. Kim posting this photo just weeks ago. Only Extra was with the couple at their New York baby shower for twins Delilah and Jesse.
So do we have 2 future ballerinas possibly?
Yes, of course.
The happy parents-to-be kissing for our camera, Diddy telling AJ,
I just take everything in as a blessing, you know. I got 3 sons, and to have these young ladies on the way is incredible.
With us at the 2005 Oscars, where he accidentally stepped on her gown.
Hey, watch that dress.
Sorry. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I just been giving kisses.
A magnet for the camera every time she hit any Beverly Hills hotspot. Today, her close friends posting their last respects. Kevin Hart saying, "You were a beautiful person inside and out." Nicki Minaj, the most heartbreaking news. Drake posting, "Sending peace and prayers to my brothers and to the big homie, Puff." One of Kim's final Instagram posts, this message, "I trust in divine timing. The universe has my back." Tonight, the entertainment world mourning her passing at only 47.
You got knocked the out, man.
The fact that we're dealing with a sensitive subject where we have family and kids and things of that nature involved. So I want to handle this subject with care and.
So, shout out to the homie at the Tough Podcast production, right? He was able to get some, he wasn't able to get an actual interview or video footage, but he was able to get statements from Kim Porter's actual former stylist. And I believe he's one of the only people that actually got the actual scoop on that.
It's footage because when she met Usher had to be about 18. Me and Usher are around the same, you know, being told that there was an intimate relationship there. But I didn't know that Kim Porter, this is what the stylist has told me, had, you know, footage or had some type of recording of Diddy and Usher being intimate when Usher was just 1'4". I didn't know that detail.
Now, time out. What do we just, and this is why I had to play what I had to play beforehand. Okay? So y'all can understand certain things. Are they coincidence or are they not coincidence? Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Are they coincidence or are they not coincidence? Y'all heard what was just said. That she had footage of who with who? At 14? Now, who we just heard about having, you know, waking up with Frosted Flakes and all that. We used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. Pause.
Didn't express that detail in my previous video in regards to that situation because I did not know, but this is what the stylist is telling me. Now, of course, I did ask the question because I needed to connect the dots here because it just didn't sound right, because I believe that Diddy and Usher, they were already working together musically, right? And intimately, allegedly, before he even met Kim Porter. So again, my question to the stylist, how did Kim Porter obtain this footage? Because when she met Usher, Usher had to be about 18. Me and Usher are around the same age. So it was no way in the hell she could have had access to that footage. Well, the stylist said she don't know how Kim got it, but Kim said that she did have the footage on a USB drive or whatever the case may be. Now, let's remember when Kim Porter passed away, the house was robbed of 2 laptops. And so in my mind, that lets me know right there that there was some type of information and video footage that they were trying to retrieve before it was exposed to the public. Now, it's also been said to me that Kim Porter got tired of doing Diddy. Well, you asked the question, what do you mean by doing Diddy? Well, Diddy requested Kim to use a strap-on. And you guys know what that is. I don't need to go any further into detail. Now, let me go ahead and put this out because I said that I was going to expose this particular individual if they didn't respond to me in the time that I gave them, because at the end of the day, I think it's a travesty that they haven't spoke out. Kimora Lee Simmons, you need to come out and speak on the behalf of your friend, Kim Porter, because that was one of your best friends and you're sitting there on information that can break this case wide open. But I know why you won't come out and say anything, because it has something to do with your ex-husband, you know, and things of that nature, and it will further incriminate him and also incriminate you, because there's some things about you that are particularly shady that I've heard that has went down. It's not all your fault. You were.
Now, let's pause that real quick on what he's talking about right now. What he's actually talking about is the whole scandal with Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons, if you guys haven't heard, was also in a allegation of underage women and rape and all this other stuff with Kimora Lee. Sound very familiar, right? Sounds very familiar. So it's not, you know, it's not a wonder why he's saying we know why Kimora Lee won't say anything. Because Kimora Lee is in the same exact situation as Cassie, except Kimora Lee is a little bit closer still than Cassie because she hasn't yet moved out of the industry. See, Kimora Lee, being that she still has ties to the industry and how she gets her money is through the industry still, she can't say anything. She can only hint, which we'll get into.
Dealing with the beast and Russell Simmons and a lot of things that, you know, happened. You were just present for, along for the ride. But at the end of the day, you could be an accessory to the fact of some of the things that went down with your husband. So I understand the fact that you don't want to touch this whole Kim Porter thing because it would open up Pandora's box and you don't want to be the catalyst of sinking the ship, the entire ship, so to speak. So I get it. But guys, last but not least, I do want to convey this to you. The stylist has conveyed to me that they're basically on the run and that they're in the process of changing their name. They also said that they came home and found that their door had been kicked in and that their house had been ransacked and things of that nature. Windows was broken and it looked like it was an intimidation tactic. And so she just feared for her life and her family's life because she has kids and things of that nature, and they just picked up and moved. You know.
Now, don't that also sound well? If it don't sound familiar to you, Jaguar Wright. That's why I said I didn't need to bring up clips with Jaguar Wright this time. Jaguar Wright was going through the same similar situation with being on the run for her life because of things that she knew and spoke about with the industry.
What I'm saying, so this is what this particular stylist is telling me, and they are adamant about putting this book out. And once the book is released or whatever the case may be, they said that whatever happens to them after the book is out is whatever happens. Like, it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, you know, Kim was a friend. And, you know, it wasn't just a stylist and friend relationship. They were friends, basically. And they just feel so terribly sad and bad that no one has stuck up for Kim Porter that has the same information that they have. But anyway, I'm going to let this slide right here. I want you guys to drop down and let me know what you think about this particular situation. I do have a video and a picture of the stylist, but I'm going to refrain from putting that out. I told them that I would protect them at all costs, and I'm a man of my word. But anyway, right? Let me know down in the comments how you feel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
So, as I said,
You are much too trusting.
I had nothing to do with Allison Brevard's.
Well, I'm relieved to hear that. It's just unfortunate you don't have an alibi.
All right, begin.
What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great start to your Thursday. Let's go ahead and talk about this information that I received in regards to Kim Porter. Now, for the purposes of this video and for the purposes of my integrity, I would like to say that all this information that you're about to receive is relationship came to an end in 2001. Porter had with Shakir Stewart. Now, for those of you who don't know who Shakir is, he was a powerful dude in the music industry. He was based out of Atlanta. In fact, he worked for LaFace Records, right? And he had a hand in signing Beyonce, Sierra, Young Jeezy, and Rick Ross, and that's just to name a few. Then after leaving LaFace, he became the executive vice president for Def Jam. So the brother had all sorts of skills and talent within the music industry. Now, Diddy and Kim started dating in 1994, and they already had their son Christian when Diddy decided to leave Kim Porter in 1999 and chase J-Lo, right? So Diddy and J-Lo, they dated for a couple of years, but their relationship came to an end in 2001. So when Diddy and J-Lo's relationship came to an end, Kim Porter had already moved on with her life, and naturally she started seeing other people, and one of those individuals that she was seeing was Shakir Stewart. Now, Diddy admitted he finally came to the conclusion that he was never going to get J-Lo back in 2001. So once that reality set in that J-Lo was a done deal, then he went back to Kim Porter, right, and tried to court her, and he was ultimately successful. So when he got back with Kim, it was evident that Kim had been seeing other people.
Now, scratch that, right? Record scratch. Yeah, I remember the clip I showed at the very beginning before I did the transition. Kim Porter was just having 2 children. She was with child, right? She was with twins. welcoming in 2 girls. This is around that same time that she was pregnant. I just want y'all to understand that. This is around the same time that she was pregnant. When Diddy found out about Shakira Stewart.
And I believe that he came across some text messages from Shakira. And so let me read to you all what a former ghostwriter for Diddy and Mark Curry had to say about this situation that went down between Diddy and Shakira and Kim Porter. Now, I want to say this. Mark Curry wrote a book in 2009, I believe it was published, called Dancing with the Devil. And basically he was exposing all of the things that Diddy did to his artists, all the bad things, how he did Biggie and things of that nature. But let me go ahead and read to you this portion about the subject at hand. So he says, Puff ran into Kim on an island. Somehow he found out a phone message from Shakira to Kim. How are my babies doing? Shakira asked her on the message. When Puff realized Kim was doing fine without him, he was incensed. After summoning a couple of his bodyguards, Puff left the palace and went to Shakira's room at the hotel. He bammed on Shakira's door until he answered it. What the blank you doing leaving messages on Kim's cell phone? Puff raged. Where do you get off saying you the daddy of my kids? Shakira knew that Puff never confronted anyone without backup, so he was afraid to defend himself. Now, according to Mark, a physical confrontation took place and it didn't end well for Shakira. And also it's been noted that a situation went down between Diddy and Kim over this situation, and a doctor was flown out to actually reconstruct Kim's nose, where she says she accidentally fell and hit her face on the table. Now, I've been told that the two events are separate. They happen on separate occasions. I'm told that Diddy took Kim on a vacation and he confronted Kim about the situation again, and that's when their confrontation took place. Now, I want to talk about Kenny Burns, because Kenny Burns was close to Shakira Stewart as well, but he's also close to Diddy. Now, Diddy and Kenny's relationship go way back. I believe that when Biggie and Jay-Z first got on the scene, they would go down to DC because that's where Kenny is from, and Kenny would set up all these parties and, you know, performances by Jay-Z and Biggie and things of that nature. And then Diddy hired Kenny. And in fact, I believe Burns still serves as the senior vice president of brand development for Combs Enterprises. Now, I don't know if they're as tight as they once were, because recently the two of them had some political differences where Diddy actually ended up blocking Kenny. So I'm pretty sure that they still work together, but you know, they're just on bad terms right now. But the one thing that is interesting about this whole dynamic is the fact that Kenny really does not believe the story of how Shakira left us prematurely. Now, in 2008, Shakira left us way too early, but it was ruled that Shakira pardoned himself by the hands of his own, if you catch my drift. Now, like I previously stated, Kenny did not believe that Shakira would do such a thing without setting up his family for the long haul. And he's been having doubts ever since this situation occurred. Now, I've been told, right, this is where the exclusive comes in, that during the time that Shakira and Kim were dating, that Kim was giving Shakira all types of information about the nature of her and Diddy's relationship, and that Shakira knew a lot and he knew too much. And Diddy didn't like that. And it was a lot of things that Kim should have kept to herself, according to Diddy, and she didn't. And he had very critical information in regards to the things that Diddy was doing behind the scenes, and Kim Porter confided in him about a lot of things that were off limits in Diddy's eyes. Now, it's also been expressed to me that even though Diddy put an end to Shakira and Kim's relationship, that Shakira and Kim kept in contact all the way up until he unfortunately left us. I'm told that there were conversations where Kim talked to Shakira about the fact that Biggie wanted out of his contract and Biggie was ready to leave Bad Boy, and that Diddy has expressed on many occasions that, you know, if he had anything to do with it, that Biggie was not going to walk away from his label and leave him high and dry. And so with Kim still communicating to Shakira behind the scenes, that really infuriated Diddy. And it's been said that Diddy warned Shakir in 2007, right? He warned him to stop all communications with Kim. And so, you know, I guess Shakir and Kim, they may have stopped talking, they may have not. But what I do know is that Shakir left us in 2008. So it seems that Diddy wanted his cake and he wanted to eat it too. So this is the thing about the situation. It's like he wanted to do what he wanted to do, right? But he wanted to keep Kim single and isolated because of the information that she had, right? His number one fear was that Kim was going to get into a relationship with a strong dude with strong character that would actually challenge him and that would stand behind her to the point where Kim felt comfortable to tell her truth. Now, you have to ask yourself, you know, why didn't Kim get married again? All we know is that her and Al B. Sure was married. You know, she never married Diddy. So you telling me that a beautiful woman of Kim's caliber couldn't find another man to want to marry her? Like, why didn't she get married? It's because Diddy kept feeding her all of this nonsense about the nature of the relationship and how things should be. And Kim kept believing that one day, maybe one day, that Diddy and her will find some common ground and that he will ultimately marry her. But I've been told that in the last year, Kim started to have her doubts again, and that Kim was looking to move from California because she really didn't like it out there. But she was torn because she didn't want to move her daughters, you know, again, away from Diddy, and Diddy would make her feel bad about that. And he will also confide in her about the fact that they need to stay together as a family, you know, to be a lot closer to one another, even though he was dating someone else. And so Kim was torn. But Kim ultimately wanted to move back to Georgia, is what I'm being told. I've also been told that she was looking at property in the area and that she was going to continue to write her book and things like that. And those are things that Diddy didn't like, you know. But I will say this, you know, Kim passed on a lot of information, and you will be hearing from Kim Porter. Let me just put it out there like that. You will be hearing from Kim Porter. She passed on her information, and you will be hearing from Kim Porter. All right. I can say that, and I can say that with confidence because it's not over, right? Watch out for Kim Porter's story in the next couple of years, y'all. I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go and let you.
We back 08 style, you know what I'm talking about, Rocco, you know, about 20 million. Let me not get going. Please drop a remix. Oh, remix come out this week. It's coming out tonight.
He was young, charismatic, and supremely talented.
Live from the mini movie. December 12th, we dropping it again. In history, 400,000 first week, #1 album in the country. Hey, Shay, let's go.
And just like that, he was gone.
Buddy called me and said, Shake's been shot. I was just like, nah, it's not, it's no way.
Man, I had to go to therapy, man. And I ain't scared to say it, bro. I couldn't get that gunpowder smell, you know what I'm saying, out of my head.
Was it depression?
Suicidal tendencies and suicidal thoughts. With all the stress that was going on in his life at the time, you can see it develop.
I need you to find me the next young superstar. I got you. The next young Jeezy. The next Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying?
Was it the medication?
He was like, this is the Ambien. He said, you take one of these, you're gonna be zonked.
Ambien may make their depression worse, and that could result in suicidal behavior.
Was he pressured to pull the trigger?
Maybe somebody did threaten you. Maybe you do know some crazy ass about uber rich people.
Every car that passed by, he would jump.
What you looking at, man?
I would have thought somebody was coming to rob.
Now, y'all saw who eyes they showed. Now run it back just so y'all can see who eyes they showed when they said that part subliminally.
Depression worse, and that could result in suicidal behavior.
Was he pressured to pull the trigger?
Maybe somebody did threaten you. Maybe you do know some crazy ass about uber rich people.
Every car that passed by, he would jump.
What you looking at, man?
I would have thought somebody was coming to ride on him.
I can't do it no more, man.
He didn't want to stick around or he checked out for whatever reason, but he had a hell of a ride.
The life and death of a hip-hop mogul, Shakir Stewart, on Celebrity Crime Files.
We back 08 style, you know what I'm talking about? Rocko, you know, about $20 million. Yeah, let me not get going. Please drop a remix. Remix come out this week.
What you say? But isn't he being sued specifically? Because I think that once you didn't the families of the people who got shot in the club were coming after that money he made because you can't benefit off your crime.
This is Mark Curry. Mark Curry is a former bad boy artist that had a book called Dancing with the Devil in his time spent with Diddy.
Wasn't that like a legal issue at some point? I'd look into that.
I'm going to say this, though. I recently heard Shine say that who is Diddy? He don't exist.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
So when he comes home, I don't think that Puff can have anything to do with him.
You know, with the unfortunate passing of Shake last year, and you being in that rest in peace, absolutely. And you know, and everybody has such a great respect for that man. Like, you know, it's one of the things that, you know, with all that you've heard about Shakir, I never can say I heard anything bad. Now we've heard talk, but I would say I heard anything bad.
Nah, never.
Now, what is your take on his alleged suicide? I'm not sure that was confirmed or whatever. You know, his passing. What is your take on that, and how deep does that really go?
You know, something really was bothering Shakir, and it wasn't. You know, a lot of people say that it was the stress from the job. Mm-hmm. You know, Shakir went to Morehouse. First, he worked with Noontime, and then he went to Hitco. So I seen his incline. He didn't have no reason to be stressed about no music. I can walk away from this today, so it ain't gonna be the stress from the job.
Okay.
It wasn't my wife was cheating on me or my daughter or whatever. It wasn't that. Okay. So we're gonna outrule that. Matter of fact, when it first happened, my man who's in the book, V, was one of the first people that was there, and I'm talking to him on the phone, and he was actually broken, shaking all the way up. Like, absolutely. Why did Shakir do this to us? Right? I'm like, what happened? I'm like, yo, tell me, yo, what's going on? And he was like, I don't know. I said, yo, Shakir just ain't gonna kill himself over anything. You know what I'm saying? So then when it happened, you break it down, and then you realize that something, his wife said it best, and everybody has to pay attention to the words, because words mean a lot.
Absolutely.
She said, I can't quote it word for word, but I could get it close. Shakir was not himself these past few months before he did this to himself.
What could it have been? What could it have been?
Obviously, he did something that wasn't supposed to have been done, and somebody was going to remind him about what was going on, and he was like, if you put this out, my wife is going to know. My kid is going to know. I heard the actual truth.
What is the truth?
See, the truth, like they said when they told you.
Come on, it'll set you free. It'll set you free. The truth will set you free.
Well, the truth is basically, if you look at what his wife said.
Yes.
His wife said it, and we're going to leave her words and let her words be the last word that represent him, because we're going to owe her that.
Got you.
Right? Whatever she want to let be out there, then we're going to take it and run with that. She said that he wasn't himself during these past days.
Do you think that we'll ever know?
Yeah, we do know now.
Well, no, I mean, when I say we, do you think the large portion of people will know?
Yeah, I believe eventually that, you know, once time goes by and, you know, the concern about it wears off, somebody's going to tell the truth or what really happened. It's bigger than this. Dancing with the Devil, that title, is not just calling Puff no devil. That's not it. The music industry, the whole industry, you put them all together, that every one of them, man, or every one of them have their wicked ways. You know what I'm saying? And that book represented.
So was it good for you? Giant Unplugged, Counter Truth.
So even Mark Curry had very similar thoughts on things. Is it all coincidence? I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know if this is coincidence or not. But I do know. Remember when I said Gene Deal was close to Diddy?
How you feel about Puffy performing that at the BET Awards and dedicating it to Kim Porter?
Your dog, all that was propaganda, man. You know what I'm saying? Puff did what he normally do. He gonna make the people, whatever, goes for the people's heart and what they feel. You gotta look at the dude actions, man. His actions when Kim was alive. He was with every chick, every dude, whoever he wanted to be with, when Kim was alive, praying with them, doing whatever he had to do to be with them. And then as soon as she dead, and we don't want nobody, none of our loved ones and people that we deal with ever to go, he used that as a tool to get to everybody's heart, because who Kim was. Everything that he thought that could get to the people's heart, he put up there in that show. And it was a bunch of bullshit, man. He probably don't mean none of it.
Seems like Puffy, when it comes to Kim Porter, it seems like when she was alive, he was probably taking her for granted. And after she passed away, he have a regret, like, man, when she was alive, I should have, been in a full committed relationship with her. It seems like he got a lot of regret when it comes to Kim Porter now. That's what it seems to me. He's living with a lot of regret.
Bro, come on. Stop the bullshit, man. He got you fooled too, huh? Kim know all his deepest secrets. Kim knew why he was using the butt plugs. Kim probably told all that shit in her book. You understand? That up and got missing the day she died. You understand what I'm saying? See, I could say that because I used to see them in action with other couples and other people. You understand what I'm saying? I was told to watch the door. Kim knew all his deepest secrets, bruh.
You trying to say that Puffy and Kim Porter were swingers?
Oh, no doubt. No diggity doubt. From this tree to that tree.
He had a lot of information on them. Gene Deal had a lot of information on back in the days and what was going on between him and Kim Porter as well. And, out of respect for Kim Porter and her family, of course, he doesn't want to say too much, as you can see. But he definitely was willing to speak on the fact that, he doesn't think that Diddy's, as I said, Memorial World Tour that he did for Kim Porter was sincere. As he said, look at the actions and the things that went on while she was alive. Don't just pay attention to the tribute. Pay attention to what was going on beforehand. Speaking of what was going on beforehand, and who knew about what was going on beforehand.
So the way Al B. Shore related with Kim Porter and Diddy is that they were all part of the brains of Uptown Records together with Heavy D and Andre Harrell. But there's something pretty strange about the record label, as was perfectly said by Jaguar Wright.
And Kim was the longest working employee because she was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left are Puffy and Al almost died.
Even I have to admit that their deaths, as much as they may appear natural, are pretty sus. Like, come on, Heavy D was found face down and his cause of death was a heart attack. Andre Harrell also apparently died of a heart attack, and as for Kim Porter, it was reported that she died because of pneumonia, something a lot of people, including Al B. Shore, do not believe.
They have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms.
And ask yourself this, has anything ever happened to Diddy? No. So why is it that people who work closely with him encounter something mysterious, especially when it comes to Al B? Is there something deeper he knows about exactly what happened with Kim? I mean, other than working together, Al B and Kim were also allegedly married and even had a son, Quincy.
He was very genuine and sweet and compassionate, and those are the things that I fell in love with, outside of his good looks.
It's really unclear what exactly caused the breakup between Al B and Kim, or why Al B agreed to let Diddy adopt his son Quincy, but Kim previously confirmed that she inspired Al B's song, Forever My Lady.
And I remember they were working on the song and they couldn't come up with the lyrics, and Al looked at me and he was like, "So you're having my baby?" And I was like,
According to Al B, they were actually married, and he first talked about their marriage in an interview with Fox Soul where he said, "Every time I post something, I forget it's me. I'm a grandfather, so my concern is not being popular and trying to get numbers and likes. That's not what I do. But I posted something the other day talking about my ex-wife. Yeah, I said it, my ex-wife Kimberly. But nobody knew because we didn't discuss being married. We didn't discuss that. Every so often, I give her a tribute." Given the love Al had for Kim, of course he was truly devastated when she died. But let's just say that one thing Al B knows for certain is that Kim was not taken out by pneumonia, and he's made it pretty clear a couple of times that he suspects foul play. For instance, in November 2021, Al B claimed that in the time leading up to Kim's death, she was running from someone or something, and that he told her to call the FBI. Then shortly after uploading the post, Al B edited the last part of the caption and removed any mention of the FBI and said that Kim was running a marathon. And as I said, not the first time he suggested that things didn't add up, by the way. At one time, he remembered the moment he found out Kim had been pronounced dead by writing, "I just found this footage from the morning I learned of at Lady KP's aka Kim Porter's and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. I do know very clearly that Kim didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some BS. Really? This is where I get in trouble." Al B actually tagged Diddy in the post to make sure Diddy saw how he thinks he was responsible, adding, "We just celebrated our son Quincy's new deal and Christmas special with Netflix, and she was in fantastic health as well, laughing seeing me and Diddy's mutual exchange at the theater. I'm gonna leave it there." Clearly, he, like many others, do not believe that Kim died of natural causes. And you want to know something else that was common with Kim, Andre, Al B, and Heavy D? Andre was writing a book before he died. Heavy D was writing a book before he died. Al B was working on a documentary about his life before he went into a coma. And yeah, Kim was also writing a book before she died.
Kim probably told all that in a book. You understand? That up and got missing the day she died.
Apparently, Diddy put the clamps on Kim Porter's book from making it to the shelves by putting pressure on all the parties that were involved in the process of putting the book together. But get this, one of the things that was supposed to come out in the book was details of how she protected Al B from running into Diddy and telling him not to go to certain places. Well, Al B probably knows that Kim was running from Diddy for the same reason everyone has been saying over the years.
Kim know all his deepest secrets. You understand? Kim knew why he was using the butt plug.
When it comes to how much Kim knew about Diddy, best believe she knew a lot. In the book that may never even come out, Kim apparently even approached Andre Harrell to ask him if he had any intimate relationship with Diddy because she was sure that their relationship was not just business. However, she was disappointed when Andre denied it because she had security footage of them together. And it wasn't just Andre, because Kim allegedly also had footage of Diddy with other men who walked in and out of the offices at Uptown. But she wasn't just running because she had video footage of Diddy on the DL. She was also running because she had evidence of all the things that Diddy did to her. There are already public humiliations that Kim had to go through, like how Diddy got another woman pregnant and got Kim pregnant around the same time. And yes, their relationship was visibly toxic, but apparently in the book, Kim went into graphic details about everything, including how Diddy roughed her up a couple of times, how she was isolated and manipulated, how Kim would use a strap-on to please Diddy and hysterically cry alone after doing so, how her house was being wired, phone lines were being tapped, Diddy paying personnel to watch her closely, and even details of how Diddy wanted full custody of the twins, but Kim threatened to expose him if he ever took her kids away from her. There were actually reports a while back that Kim's family was seeking legal advice and was in pursuit to slap Diddy with a lawsuit for wrongful death. Apparently, the family has physical evidence to support their case and has been undeniably shattered by Kim's death because they feel she didn't die from natural causes. In addition, there has also been another expose spilling that Kim did not die peacefully in her sleep because she had pneumonia. There was actually blood located on Kim's pillowcase and also a slight trail of blood on the bathroom floor that led to the bedroom. Allegedly, Kim was found unresponsive in her bed, but she was discovered on the bathroom floor, and if they found her in her bed, then she was strategically placed there. In fact, the original coroner who conducted the first autopsy on Kim suspected foul play with the amount of a certain toxin that was found in her system. And someone who got all the deets said that Kim's last call was actually to 911 at 2:43 a.m. and that she was found later the next morning at 11 a.m. Reportedly, Diddy also kept the twins from having a relationship with her family in Georgia and also isolated them from any communication. It's almost as if the family doesn't exist. Remember, just the other day, a former nanny to the twins filed a wrongful termination lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of terminating her employment after she informed him she was pregnant. She also said she was told by Diddy's reps that she was let go because she set a bad example for his daughters by being pregnant and unmarried. However, according to the nanny, Diddy terminated her contract because she was getting too close to the twins and they started started telling her things about their mother. Apparently, a lot of details didn't add up, and she even recommended that the twins should see a specialist. Do you see how that could explain why Diddy is trying to keep the twins away from Kim's side of the family? Well, a lot of people say that Al B was only seeking attention with his post about Kim's deaths, but do you think that there's some ingenuity in what he said? Don't you find it a bit strange that things just happen to the people Diddy worked with, yet nothing has ever happened to him? I'd love to know if you think Kim was really running from Diddy and whether Al is his next target, so sound off in the comment section below.
So again, not a quinky dink. Now how things are starting to, how this web is starting to show, Like I said, that pinata got a huge hole in it poked. And a lot of shit leaked. Remember I said there was somebody I was going to get into before that had some thoughts on things, possibly, that was close to her, but can't say nothing because her husband is involved in the same shit.
But when you think about Kim, I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown Records started with 5 people.
Like, you gotta think about certain shit, right?
Andre Harrell.
Certain things you gotta think about nowadays.
I'll be sure.
Because
Heavy D
are itching to crack open the case once again. Why, you may ask? Well, it seems they've stumbled upon some serious, suspicious circumstances.
Kimora Lee was super close to Kim Porter. Kimora Lee was close to Kim Porter because Russell Simmons and Diddy hung out so damn close together all the time. And they both got to see things that they weren't supposed to be seeing, as well as they were involved in quote unquote things that they didn't want to be involved in at very young ages. Okay? That's another thing that people didn't want to necessarily talk about because of the actual age factor in things
surrounding her tragic passing, and the inner circle is convinced there's more to the story than meets the eye. Speaking of friends, one name that immediately comes to mind is the sensational Kimora Lee. And let me tell you, she has some intriguing insights to share. So, what exactly did Kimora reveal? And what could be the driving force behind the desperate plea to reopen Kim's case? Get ready for an exciting ride, my friends, as we uncover the hidden layers of this mystery. The truth behind Kim's passing promises to be an enthralling tale filled with surprises and suspense. It's a story you won't want to miss.
I remember the songs. I remember A Teenage Love, to be exact. I remember all these songs that go with the time.
You may think you know everything about Kim and Diddy's tumultuous history, but get ready for a jaw-dropping revelation that will have your jaws hitting the floor. Let's rewind to December 2006, when the world was captivated by the news of Kim and Diddy's twin babies. Oh, the sweet bliss of parenthood, or so it seemed. But hold on to your hats, because here's what you didn't know. While Kim was carrying their precious twins, Diddy found himself tangled in a web of infidelity. Yes, you heard it right. Another woman was carrying his child at the same time, turning their fairy tale into a whirlwind of scandal and chaos. Oh, Diddy, you sly fox. You were a mess from the very start. Now let's fast forward to 2018, a year that would forever alter the lives of those close to Kim. Reports emerged that Kim made repeated calls to her doctor, desperately seeking assistance. However, to her bewilderment, her calls went unanswered. This peculiar turn of events raised eyebrows, especially since her friends and family knew that reaching her personal doctor had never been an issue before. Curious, isn't it? Then, devastating news struck the world like a lightning bolt. It was November 2018 when the unthinkable happened. Kim was found lifeless in her sleep. The shocking revelation shook her loved ones to the core. Kimora Lee, one of her dearest friends, poured her heart out on Instagram saying, "This is unbelievable. When I first heard the news, I was angry that someone would play such a stupid joke," she continued. "They said you were in your room sleeping. Aoki and I rushed to your house to tell you to get up and get yourself outside. But soon as I arrived, I realized you would not come. However, the plot thickens with an unexpected twist. Ed Winter, the coroner, who had previously voiced concerns about Kim's death and called for further investigation, tragically passed away just a few weeks ago. The timing of this unfortunate event raises eyebrows and ignites speculation. To add to the intrigue, a new coroner stepped in to fill Ed's shoes. But here's the mind-boggling part. It took an unusually long time for this second coroner to reach a conclusion. After much deliberation and analysis, they ruled that Kim's cause of death was labor pneumonia. Yet one can't help but ponder the discrepancies. After all, Kim had only exhibited flu-like symptoms mere days before her passing. Suspicious, isn't it? Now here's where things really get interesting. Two of Kim's closest friends decided to reach out to her doctor to find out why he hadn't responded to her calls. The doctor revealed that he had never received any calls from Kim, nor did he have any knowledge of her illness. But wait, it doesn't end there. According to Kim's friends, particularly our beloved Kimora Lee, said that just before Kim's untimely departure, she allegedly sent a cryptic message to her inner circle confessing, "He got me." She also hinted that she might have been poisoned. As unbelievable as it may sound, this is not the first time such sinister acts have occurred in the shadows of Hollywood's glamour. In fact, the truth was unveiled by the brave and outspoken Jaguar Wright.
It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And
yet let us not forget the official narrative. According to reports, Kim's cause of death was attributed to pneumonia. However, her loved ones, fueled by their relentless pursuit of the truth, refused to accept this explanation without further investigation. Something just doesn't add up. While she was said to have peacefully passed away in her sleep, the discovery of bloodstains on her pillow and a trail leading to the bathroom raises eyebrows and fuels speculation. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Why is Kimora convinced that Diddy might be involved in this tangled web of deceit? Well, it goes back to their tumultuous relationship. Diddy was allegedly responsible for physically, mentally, and emotionally harming Kim throughout their time together. Kimora, being a close friend, had a front row seat to this toxic dynamic. And you know what they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. But Kimora isn't the only one pointing fingers. Enter Gene Deal, the ex-bodyguard of none other than Diddy himself. He steps into the spotlight claiming that Diddy once delivered a devastating blow that shattered Kim's nose.
So my whole thing about it is that it was always abuse between those two, physically. But Kim got tired of it and she wasn't taking her.
And Gene Deal isn't the sole voice shedding light on Diddy's treatment of women. Brace yourselves, because another ex-girlfriend of Diddy has stepped forward, ready to spill the beans on their tumultuous relationship. Let me tell you, it's a revelation that doesn't paint Diddy in a favorable light.
He started being so like I say, like the first 3.5 years he was like mean to me.
It's no wonder Kimora was convinced that Diddy played a role in Kim's tragic passing. When news of Kim's death broke, what was the first thing Diddy did? He swiftly confiscated her phone, a highly suspicious move considering the circumstances. A close source to the family spilled the beans, revealing that Kim's loved ones are preparing to take legal action against Diddy for wrongful death. They claim to possess concrete evidence that will support their case. It's about to get real, and the stakes are sky high. But here's where it gets even juicier. Inside sources hint at a secret book, meticulously crafted to document every intricate detail of Kim's life and her tragic demise. The family has been itching to release this bombshell, but Diddy has been using his influence to keep it under wraps. What could be so explosive within those pages that he wants to keep hidden? Turns out, the book unveils a world of frustration for Kim. Imagine living in a house where every nook and cranny is wired, where your phone lines are tapped, and where a personal watchdog is hired to keep you under constant surveillance. Talk about a lack of freedom. It's enough to make anyone's head spin. The book also covers how Diddy wanted full custody of their twins, but Kim wasn't one to back down. She made it crystal clear that if Diddy pushed her, she would expose every shady detail he had hidden away. Think about it, my friends. Andre, Heavy D, and Kim, all with unfinished books before their untimely demises. A trail of unfinished stories, secrets waiting to be unveiled. And nestled within this enigma lies Kimora, perhaps holding the key to a truth so explosive it could shake Hollywood to its very core. But let's not forget the fans, the passionate voices who refuse to be silenced. They eagerly join the chorus declaring, if Kimora suddenly slips into a coma, we'll know the shocking truth behind her silence. Their words echo with an air of suspense, as if they're on the precipice of unraveling a massive conspiracy. One fan bravely steps forward proclaiming Diddy's closet isn't just filled with skeletons, it's an entire graveyard. The notion of hidden secrets and deleted lives swirls in the air, shrouding Diddy in a cloak of mystery. It's the dark side he desperately tries to shield from the prying eyes of the public. Another fan with a keen eye for the truth proclaims, "We don't care about his personal life, but we do care about the lives that he may have erased. That's the part he desperately wants to keep hidden." We want to hear your take on this mesmerizing saga. Do you stand with Kimora and believe she was onto something? Should the case be reopened and investigated further, unveiling the hidden truths that lie beneath the surface? Share your thoughts, your theories, your insights.
And this is why I keep saying the same thing throughout this podcast. Everybody can't keep saying the same shit. None of that saying, oh, everybody's saying the same thing, it must be true. I ain't saying nothing. I had Orlando Brown. I had an Aaron Hall clip. Like I said, I ain't need Jaguar Wright, but y'all saw Jaguar Wright anyway. Let's keep transitioning, shall we? Because the next person that we're going to talk about now is the person that was right after Kim Porter.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Ryan Leslie, aka R Les, representing Next Selection, and you're checking me out right now on one of the world's most infamous, hard-hitting, real information-getting resources online, VladTV.com.
At the time that she signed that first deal and you guys working together, was this a romantic relationship?
Well, it was a very personal relationship, and you know, it was she was close to everything that I loved. You know what I mean? So, music is just something that I love, and she's clearly just, you know, when two people have that much personal interaction and time, they spend that much time together, it's inevitable that a strong personal bond is going to be formed. And the type of chemistry that we had, musically and personally, the relationship that we had was inevitable.
So you guys had some sort of romantic relationship during that time?
He's going in, right?
I mean, you know, that's pretty much how how you answer the question.
Yeah,
you know, you're not denying the fact you had a romantic relationship.
I'll say, I love Cassie. I love her. You know what I mean? And, you know, I fell in love with her. I fell in love with the music. I fell in love with her family, and everything that it took, you know, for two young people in New York City hustling together. It was inevitable that we be in love. You know what I'm saying?
Now, at what point sort of rift that happened to you? Because from what I understand, you don't talk to Cassie as much as you used to.
Right.
Is this true?
Yeah, that's 100% true.
So, was there a situation where a rift happened, you know, between you two? Was it anything that you could pinpoint?
I mean, there's definitely a lot of factors, a lot of situations, a lot of nuances that I could pinpoint, but I don't feel comfortable talking about them publicly because they involve, you know, they involve people and involve situations that, you know, to this point really don't have anything to do with my professional career. You know what I mean? Well, they don't have anything to do with my current professional career. So I don't feel comfortable talking about them, and you know, I don't think any of the people involved would feel comfortable about me talking about it. You know, so I wouldn't do it unless I could make some phone calls and say, "Hey, I'm on Vlad TV right now. Do you have any problem with me airing some of this stuff out?" I'm sure they would probably respond and say, "You know what, homie, I would have a problem with you airing some of that stuff out." But yes, I do believe that there are some specific moments, specific discussions, specific moments in time, specific disputes, specific characters that played into this, dynamic change that has that went down.
Now, Cassie is still signed to you.
Yes, she's still signed the next election.
And her deal is through Puff.
Yeah.
So was there any sort of strain, the fact that she is, kind of seen with Puff a lot and they have some sort of relationship in terms of, like that sort of, triangle kind of approach where, you guys had a relationship, you're signed to Puff, she's seen out with Puff. I mean, does that create some sort of strain in your personal life?
Well, I think that as a human being, right? It's just some of these questions, like they would seem to me that they would have obvious answers. You know what I mean? Just if you were to put yourself in my position as a human being, right? And so there are definitely some. There are and there were definitely those moments and instances where you question what's really going on. But for us on the outside, because even in terms of her relationship with Puff, I'm on the outside. I didn't make it a point to try to get into whatever business was going on. And we're in the entertainment industry, so our lives, we make the decision to make the choice to expose ourselves in that way. And I took a lot of that, a lot of the sentiments and a lot of my reactions to those situations, especially my reactions to my relationship with her, and went into the studio and made the best records and representations and soundtracks that allowed me as a human being to deal with that situation. You know what I mean? I think it made for some very heartfelt, real recordings, and it's actually ironic that my second single features her, because really the story behind that record is, it really was supposed to be her single.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's on the hook.
Yeah, she's on the hook.
But she wasn't in the video.
Wasn't in either video. 2 videos we made.
Right. Well, why is that?
I wish you could tell me the answer to that one.
Because she wasn't allowed to be. She wasn't allowed to be. She was not allowed to be in those videos. As you heard, Ryan Leslie was the producer of the Me and You record, if you don't know. Ryan Leslie produced a few of Cassie's records, actually. If people don't know. Real quick. Because now we're going to get into the documentation of things. I don't think I can show it actually, but I'm going to read from it. So let's start with, and just to show real quick, so yeah, I know I'm not bluffing. I don't want anybody to think I'm bluffing out here. You guys see what they say up there. So, without further ado, it's the excerpt that says factual allegations. Factual allegations. Okay. This is again from the Cassie Ventura Diddy case. This is the lawsuit that she filed. It says factual allegations. Teenaged Miss Ventura meets middle-aged Mr. Combs as her career begins. Miss Ventura met Mr. Combs in late 2005 or early 2006 after Mr. Combs heard Mrs. Ventura's first single playing in a club and expressed interest in signing her to his label, Bad Boy Records. That record being the one that Ryan Leslie produced that we were just hearing about. At the time, Miss Ventura was 19 years old. Mr. Combs was 37 years old. Within months, in February 2006, Miss Ventura signed a 10-album deal with Mr. Combs' record label. Miss Ventura's first album, Cassie, was released in August 2006, debuted at number 4 on the U.S. Billboard 200 that Ryan Leslie produced. To promote the album, Miss Ventura made television appearances on MTV's Total Request Live and BET's 106 in Park. Miss Ventura suffered from significant performance anxiety during these appearances, and press outlets were highly critical of Miss Ventura's performances on these shows. Mr. Combs, however, sought to rehabilitate his newly signed talent, telling MTV News, "You could hear the nervousness in her voice, and to be honest, I kind of smiled at it because it made me really appreciate what I really love about her. She's a regular person. It just made me appreciate that she got nervous, and it was kind of cute to me, to be honest. You've got to understand that success for her is coming out of nowhere. It's just so huge, and sometimes everybody handles it differently." While clearly paternalistic in noting that it was cute to him how regular Miss Ventura appeared, Mr. Combs' comments ranged true to some extent. Upon signing with Bad Boy Records, Miss Ventura was quickly thrust into the spotlight and was unfamiliar with how to navigate her new celebrity status. Mr. Combs' recognition and glorification of Miss Ventura's naivete proved to set the groundwork for his manipulative and coercive romantic and sexual relationship with Miss Ventura, a woman nearly 2 decades his junior. Within a year of signing with Bad Boy Records, Mr. Combs became deeply entrenched in Miss Ventura's life, almost immediately asserting possession and control over her, and inserting himself into all aspects of her career and her personal life. In November 2006, Mr. Combs invited Miss Ventura to perform his song "Come to Me" along with him at the MTV Europe Music Awards in Copenhagen, Denmark. After rehearsal for the performance, Mr. Combs walked around in the robe with a drink in his hand, flaunting his lavish party lifestyle to his labeled newly signed artists. During hair and makeup leading up to the performance, Miss Ventura's hairstylist and Mr. Combs' artist told Miss Ventura that Mr. Combs was interested in Miss Ventura. Miss Ventura shrugged off the gossip and, in fact, expressed disgust given the large age gap between her and the president of the record label. Emphasizing the age and power dynamic early on in their working relationship, Mr. Combs positioned himself as a father figure and protector of Miss Ventura. By way of example, after returning to New York after a trip to Las Vegas, during which she endured a brief hospital stay, Miss Ventura, who by then was fully healthy, went out to the club with her friends. When Mr. Combs saw her out, he reprimanded her, telling her to go home and take care of herself. At the time, Miss Ventura thought that her record label was looking out for her well-being, and that Mr. Combs had her interest in mind, her best interest in mind. Mr. Combs also ensured that he was intertwined with Miss Ventura's personal and social life, for instance, by inviting himself to Miss Ventura's 21st birthday party in Las Vegas. He also brought along famous musicians and producers, thereby flaunting his celebrity status and influence in front of a young and impressionable Miss Ventura, although Mr. Combs knew that Miss Ventura was in a relationship at the time. I wonder who that was with. And even though he was publicly in a relationship with Kim Porter, Mr. Combs nevertheless pursued Miss Ventura. At an after party in a hotel suite following Miss Ventura's 21st birthday party, Mr. Combs pulled Miss Ventura into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her. Miss Ventura did not consent to his unwanted contact. She immediately ran out of the bathroom in the hotel suite and cried. She told her best friend at the time about what had happened, but was too scared to tell anyone else. At the Video Music Awards the following day, Miss Ventura's boyfriend at the time joined her and Mr. Combs at a table at the award ceremony. Mr. Combs became angry, telling Miss Ventura that the invitation to the award ceremony was only for her and not for her significant other. Mr. Combs lures Miss Ventura into a relationship. Despite her clear rejection of Mr. Combs' advances, Mr. Combs continued to demand Miss Ventura spend time with him, including for a weekend at Mr. Combs' residence in Miami, and for nights out in New York City. On one particular night, around September 2007, Mr. Combs insisted on taking Miss Ventura out. And Miss Ventura acquiesced. And Miss Ventura acquiesced. Fearing that rejecting Mr. Combs' request would have repercussions for her album deal with Mr. Combs and his company Bad Boy Records. Mr. Combs picked up Miss Ventura from her apartment in Manhattan in a blue luxury vehicle. Miss Ventura was surprised that when she got into the car, Mr. Combs was already inebriated. He had handed her a pill and told her to take it. When Miss Ventura asked what the pill was, Mr. Combs dismissed her and told her she would like it. She later learned the pill was ecstasy, something Miss Ventura had never before tried and did not want to try. This was the first time Mr. Combs got Mrs. Ventura high. Mr. Combs then proceeded to drive recklessly at very high speeds down the West Side Highway of Manhattan. Ms. Ventura was very scared, but did not dare to object Mr. Combs, who appeared to be drunk, high, and agitated. Mr. Combs took Miss Ventura to an upscale lounge in downtown Manhattan, where he proceeded to get into an altercation with the security staff who would not permit Mr. Combs to enter, presumably because he was belligerent. Miss Ventura decided to go home, but for the remainder of the night, Mr. Combs messaged Miss Ventura incessantly, complaining that he left him high and alone. In early fall 2007, Mr. Combs flexed his power and influence when he paid a promoter to create a fake flyer for a party hosted by Mrs. Ventura. This fake posting allowed Miss Ventura to have an excuse to go to Miami, Florida, and get her away from her boyfriend by using the guise of a legitimate event she had to attend. Miss Ventura was stunned at how easily Mr. Combs was able to recruit others to lie for him. Miss Ventura was uncomfortable with the fake flyer, but because the request to go to Miami was made by the owner of her record label, and because she was scared to go against his wishes and face repercussions to her nascent career, Miss Ventura agreed to join Mr. Combs in Florida. During the trip to Miami, Mr. Combs provided Miss Ventura with copious amounts of drugs. She became more intoxicated than she ever had been, and her intoxication lasted throughout the weekend trip. As she wanted Mr. Combs to continue to support her career, she felt she could not refuse Mr. Combs urging her to take more drugs. After providing her with drugs, Mr. Combs had sexual intercourse with Miss Ventura during this trip. Within 2 years of meeting Mr. Combs, Miss Ventura found herself lured into the immediate circle of her boss, the owner of her record label and one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry. Mr. Combs exerts control over Miss Ventura's career and personal life. From the very start of their relationship, Mr. Combs exerted his power and influence over Mrs. Ventura. This dynamic was fueled by their nearly 20-year age difference, as well as their relative positions in the entertainment industry, with Mr. Combs considered a music mogul and Miss Ventura at the very start of the career as the entertainer. Mr. Combs' aggressive and demanding approach to those he worked with made it impossible for anyone to challenge him. And Miss Ventura soon learned that Mr. Combs insisted on blind loyalty from everyone in his inner circle. Although Miss Ventura had saved up some earnings from her young modeling career, Mr. Combs' ostentatious display of wealth was intimidating to her. Mr. Combs paid for things with wads of cash and would repeatedly tell Miss Ventura, "Don't worry about money, I have money." Mr. Combs expensed lavish vacations for him, and Mrs. Ventura purchased a car for her, paid for her apartment, provided her with extensive amounts of designer clothing. Around 2008 and 2009, Mr. Combs began to rent an apartment in Manhattan for Miss Ventura. The apartment was within walking distance of Mr. Combs' New York residence. He first showed Miss Ventura to the apartment by bringing her along with the parents, her parents, by the way. Miss Ventura's parents were skeptical of the mogul's display of wealth, but proud of their daughter's newfound success. Around 2010, Mr. Combs similarly paid for an apartment for Miss Ventura in L.A. as well, which was located about 5 minutes away from Mr. Combs' residence. Yet again, he paid for many of her apartments in California and also purchased a Jaguar for her around 2013 to 2014. All aspects of Miss Ventura's life were controlled by either Mr. Combs or his management companies. Every event Miss Ventura attended, from the travel to the makeup and clothing, was paid for directly by Mr. Combs and his affiliated companies. Compounding this all-encompassing intrusion into her life, Mr. Combs secured his control over the young and impressionable Miss Ventura by introducing her to a drug-fueled lifestyle that kept her complacent and compliant. Mr. Combs first introduced Miss Ventura to opiates around 2008 and would often have pills and other drugs out in the pen like candy. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs has been addicted to prescription painkillers and took ecstasy frequently. At first, Miss Ventura was given the prescriptions that Mr. Combs received from a doctor in Miami, Florida. Eventually, when Mr. Combs exhorted that his supply of pills, he demanded that Miss Ventura procure prescriptions from this Miami doctor in her own name. Mr. Combs also became deeply involved in Miss Ventura's personal life, with his personal staff attending to Miss Ventura's day-to-day travel and other needs, including medical care. On multiple occasions, Mr. Combs had Mrs. Ventura personal medical records sent directly to his email address. For instance, when Miss Ventura began experiencing memory loss, when she began experiencing memory loss, potentially due to excessive drug use and her head injuries caused by Mr. Combs' beatings, as described below, her MRI results were provided directly to Mr. Combs. Mr. Combs also repeatedly arranged for his staff to drive Miss Ventura to certain doctor's appointments. In this way, Mr. Combs exerted ownership over Miss Ventura as another example of the ways in which he manipulated Miss Ventura and ensured obedience early on in their relationship. He asked Miss Ventura what she called her grandfather. When Mr. Ventura said that she referred to her grandfather as Pop Pop, Mr. Combs perversely insisted that Miss Ventura refer to him with that nickname. Mr. Combs and Mrs. Ventura's relationship became violent and abusive. What started as a whirlwind of celebrity meetings and drug and alcohol-fueled parties, however, quickly turned frightening and violent. Miss Ventura was also exposed to the intense violence that pervaded Mr. Combs' rise to fame. For example, on one occasion, Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura were using drugs together in his home. One of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in L.A. Mr. Combs began to get dressed, retrieved multiple guns from a safe, and ran out of the home to where he believed Suge Knight would be dining. Miss Ventura became terrified and began to cry. On at least two occasions, Mr. Combs demanded that Miss Ventura hold Mr. Combs' gun in her purse. Miss Ventura had no familiarity with guns and was petrified that the firearm would accidentally go off in her purse. There was no clear reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold his guns, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and dangerous. Over the next decade, multiple times each year, Mr. Combs would violently beat Miss Ventura, leaving bruises on her body. After every instance in which he beat Miss Ventura, Mr. Combs used his money and power to orchestrate extensive efforts to hide the evidence of his abuse, including by hiding Miss Ventura in hotels for days at a time to let her bruises heal. In one such instance, after a party with Jay-Z, Mr. Combs beat Miss Ventura repeatedly in an escalade, including by kicking and hitting her. He forced her out of the vehicle on Fifth Avenue in New York City. She was eventually able to hail a cab and get to her apartment in Manhattan, where she cried in fear, realizing there was no one she could even tell this to about what had happened at the hands of his incredibly powerful man. She spent the subsequent 3 days hiding in her apartment. In January 2009, after Mr. Combs learned that Miss Ventura spoke to another music manager at a party in L.A., he became enraged. She had hoped speaking to his manager would allow her to further grow her career and that Mr. Combs would be happy for her. But instead, he became extremely angry and pulled her out of the club where the party was taking place. In the car leaving the club, Mr. Combs beat Miss Ventura, pushing her into the corner of the vehicle and stomping her in the face. Mr. Combs' security staff, Roger Bonds, tried to stop the beating, but was unable to de-escalate the situation. When the car arrived at Mr. Combs' residence, Miss Ventura attempted to run away, but Mr. Combs followed her and proceeded again to kick her in the face. Miss Ventura was bleeding profusely and was ushered into Mr. Combs' home, where she began to throw up and from the violent assault. Upon recognizing the damage he had done at the physical evidence of his abuse, Mr. Combs panicked and forced his staff to bring Miss Ventura to a hotel suite at the London Hotel in L.A., where she was required to stay for an entire week. Crazy. Shit, crazy shit, crazy. I hit the down button a little bit too far. I just want to make sure I get to the right place right here. Okay, back from the car, leaving to the club. Okay. All right. Where she was required to stay for a week. During this day, as her injuries from the beating healed, Miss Ventura began to fully realize that Mr. Combs' tremendously loyal network not only knew about and witnessed his assault, but also that these witnesses were not willing to do anything meaningful to stop Mr. Combs' behavior. She recognized that she was powerless and that reporting Mr. Combs to the authorities would not alter Mr. Combs' status or influence, but would merely give Mr. Combs another excuse to hurt her. While in the hotel, she asked to go home to her parents, but Mr. Combs wouldn't let her leave. She lied to her mother when asked about an online gossip forum that reported the assault. Mr. Combs proceeded to instruct his assistant to purchase excessive amounts of gifts for Miss Ventura, which were delivered to the hotel room where she remained trapped. Miss Ventura was terrified, isolated, and unable to see a pathway out of Mr. Combs' abusive hold of her life. She found herself becoming numb to the abuse she was experiencing and became entirely beholden to Mr. Combs' demands. She began to blindly follow his instructions out of fear of again being on the receiving end of a vicious beating. By Mr. Combs' own admission, his relationship with Miss Ventura was like Bobby and Whitney, a clear acknowledgement of the unequal power dynamic and excessive domestic violence that permeated their relationship. From the outside looking in, Miss Ventura had heard others refer to her relationship with Mr. Combs in akin to Ike and Tina. Her volatile and abusive partner, who also owned her label and therefore held her future success in his hands, had fully exerted control over over every aspect of her life. Mr. Combs forces Miss Ventura into sex trafficking. Within a few months of beginning a romantic relationship with 40-year-old Mr. Combs, the 22-year-old Miss Ventura felt beholden to his whims and demands. While in New York City, Mr. Combs told the Miss Ventura that he wanted to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism. Mr. Combs said that it would turn him on if he saw Miss Ventura with another dick. The first time Mr. Combs hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles, the man, Mr. Combs, and Miss Ventura wore masquerade masks and ingested drugs. Mr. Combs directed Miss Ventura to perform sexual acts with this man while Mr. Combs watched them. He masturbated while he directed Miss Ventura and the man to do specific sexual acts. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Mr. Combs began to call the arrangement a freak-off, or FO. He would repeatedly tell Miss Ventura at random moments that he wanted an FO, and Miss Ventura was eventually expected to facilitate the location and the hiring of male sex workers. At certain points during Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs' relationship, he would insist on an FO weekly. Mr. Combs would repeatedly tell Miss Ventura that his practice was our thing and our secret. FOs would often take place in hotel suites, include at the Trump International Hotel in Columbus, Circle L. Who's that say? El Hermitage, Beverly Hills, the London Hotel in L.A., the Intercontinental Century City, the Damn. What are you damn hotel? What are you damn hotel? The Malibu, the One, the Mandarin, the Oriental, the Shutters. Damn! All them hotels. Lord have mercy. On one occasion, around 2013, Mr. Combs had an FO set up at the Intercontinental Hotel in New York City, after which he was charged with tens of thousands of dollars in damages by the hotel. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Tony Fletcher, paid the invoice charged by the hotel. Miss Ventura was eventually instructed to use websites and escort services to find male sex workers to participate in the FOs. Mr. Combs told Miss Ventura to search for large black penises on the website. I just seen them on YouTube where it's like he likes BBC. That's crazy. And like I said, we didn't show the Aaron Hall thing. And then we saw Orlando Brown with the "You gave me the Oshkosh gouache." So, as I continue, sometimes Mr. Combs would pay to fly male sex workers to his location, including to multiple cities in the United States as well as abroad. He required Miss Ventura and his staff to help him make these arrangements. Mr. Combs' assistants would help to set up the FOs, including by setting up the hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide. Now, this only makes me think about what Jamie Foxx was saying when he said that Diddy said that he spent $1,000,005 on the party. And I'm saying to myself, well, damn, this sounds awful familiar when I'm thinking about that $1.5 million that he spent on that party. Mr. Combs always supplied Miss Ventura and the sex worker with copious amounts of drugs before and during the FOs. Miss Ventura was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during FOs, which allowed her to dissociate during these horrific encounters. It became commonplace to get 4 fluids in the days after an FO. IV fluids, excuse me. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the place. Oh my goodness! In the days after an FO to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. Miss Ventura was required to dress up in lingerie for an FO, and Mr. Combs insisted she wear white nail polish to contrast her nails with the skin of the black men he hired to have sex with her. During the FO, Mr. Combs would instruct Miss Ventura to pour excessive amounts of oil over herself. Mr. Combs would then instruct Miss Ventura and the sex workers to speak to each other, and then would specifically tell Miss Ventura where to touch the sex workers. Mr. Combs would say things like, "Grab that big black dick," and ask her how does it feel, as he directed her to perform them. As he directed her to perform for him. During the FOs, in addition to directing Miss Ventura and masturbating, Mr. Combs would use his phone, laptop, and tablet to film Miss Ventura having sex with the hired sex worker. He treated the forced encounter as a personal art project, adjusting the candles he used for lighting to frame the videos he took. While Miss Ventura quickly deleted any photographs or video of sex acts if they were taken on her phone, Mr. Combs repeatedly made clear that he retained any videos or many videos of Miss Ventura during FOs. Even when she deleted the videos, Mr. Combs would tell Miss Ventura that he was able to recover deleted videos from her devices. On one occasion, he sat next to her on a flight and made her watch a video she thought she had deleted, reinforcing her inability to escape and the immense power he held over her. Mr. Combs would pay the male sex workers a few $1,000s in cash for their services. During some FOs, Mr. Combs would become extremely intoxicated and would hit Miss Ventura in front of the male sex workers. Miss Ventura was repulsive by Mr. Combs' demands, but between the physical beating and recognizing his incredible power and incredible temper, Miss Ventura became petrified of her partner and boss and felt that she could not say no. He even would present her with lavish gifts prior to or in the middle of the FOs, seemingly acknowledging the ways in which these 4 sexual encounters constituted work for Miss Ventura, and that he needed to compensate her for this work. At one point, he had given her so many designer bracelets for FOs and immediately following his brutal beatings that she felt that she was shackled by her presence. Frequently, her anxiety before an FO, would become so great that she would become physically ill, sometimes to the point of vomiting. While kneeling over the toilet, Mr. Combs would shame her into performing for him. eventually forcing her to get up and proceed with the encounter. She knew firsthand that telling Mr. Combs that she did not want to engage in FOs was met with anger and violence. In addition, any suggestion that Mrs. Ventura would refuse the FO or otherwise report Mr. Combs' abuse was met with ultimatums by Mr. Combs, who would say that Miss Ventura could not go to the police because she had a lot to lose. Around August 2015, for example, in the middle of a surprise birthday dinner for Miss Ventura's 29th birthday, Mr. Combs insisted that Miss Ventura leave the party and go to a hotel for an FO. When she expressed that she did not want to go, Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura by his security staff had Miss Ventura cornered by his security staff in order to force her to leave with him. After his FO, Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura went back to the hotel room that Miss Ventura was staying in, where some of Miss Ventura's friends were already hanging out. Mr. Combs was severely intoxicated and at one point during the night picked up one of Miss Ventura's friends like a child and dangled the friend over the balcony of the 17th floor hotel suite. Miss Ventura and her friends were scared by Mr. Combs' erratic behavior, but Miss Ventura was heavily sedated because of the drugs she took to participate in the FO, and therefore was unable to respond to Mr. Combs' terrifying behavior. The FOs became work for Miss Ventura, and despite her, I guess you could say her prostitutions. I guess the word for prostitute. And despite her protestations, Mr. Combs insisted on these intricately staged and forced sexual encounters between Miss Ventura and various male sex workers. Miss Ventura tries to escape Mr. Combs' abuse. And we're going to end it after this part here. Anytime she tried to create distance between her and Mr. Combs, he used his networks to find her and convince her to return to his abuse. On multiple occasions, Mr. Combs sent his employees to lure Mrs. Ventura back. In 2011, during a rough patch in Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura's relationship, Miss Ventura had a brief relationship with musician Kid Cudi. When Mr. Combs returned from a trip, he demanded another FO. Miss Ventura, she acquiesced or acquiesced. During this FO, Mr. Combs found Miss Ventura's phone and found emails between her and Kid Cudi. Mr. Combs became enraged and proceeded to place a manual corkscrew between his fingers and lunged at Miss Ventura. Miss Ventura ran away to stay at Cudi's home to escape Mr. Combs' wrath. Soon thereafter, one of Mr. Combs' staff members told Miss Ventura that he needed to just talk to Mr. Combs, even though that Mr. Combs was enraged. Feeling like she could not escape Mr. Combs and his network of enforcers, Miss Ventura returned to Mr. Combs. He hit her several times and then kicked her in the back as she tried to run out the door. She went to her parents' home in Connecticut, where her mother took pictures of the bruises Mr. Combs had left on Miss Ventura's body. In February 2012, during Paris Fashion Week, Mr. Combs told Miss Ventura that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Wow. Around the time Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway, and Kid Cudi actually came out recently and confirmed that was actually true. Miss Ventura was terrified as she began to fully comprehend what Mr. Combs was both willing and able to do to those he believed had slighted him. In 2015, Miss Ventura spoke to a popular music manager at an after party in a hotel suite in Las Vegas. Mr. Combs saw her speaking to his manager and sternly told her to step into the bedroom adjoining the suite. In the bedroom, Mr. Combs beat Miss Ventura severely. She ran from corner to corner of the room, trying to avoid Mr. Combs' beatings and kickings. When she tried to lock herself in the bathroom, he pushed through and punched and kicked her while she curled up under the toilet. Excuse me. Her screams were drowned out by the loud music playing in the outside area of the hotel suite. When Mr. Combs' head of security and assistant saw Miss Ventura after the assault, they began to cry. Miss Ventura had two black eyes, a burst and bruised lip, and a huge welt on her forehead. Upon seeing the results of his vicious attack, Mr. Combs immediately took steps to conceal his wrongdoing. He forced Miss Ventura to stay at his home in Holmby Hills, alongside him, along with one of his sons. While there, Mr. Combs FaceTimed Miss Ventura and stated, "You got to go up and put more makeup on. My son can't see you like that." She did put makeup on, per Mr. Combs' demands. Miss Ventura felt that she had no choice but to obey her abuser. Even though security guards, assistants, and friends saw the situation she was in, no one dared to help her or speak up on her behalf. She therefore had no choice but to remain subservient. Later in 2015, while shooting a movie in Cape Town, South Africa, Miss Ventura began flirtatious relationship with an actor. She spent New Year's Eve with this actor, but Mr. Combs soon found out. Mr. Combs called the actor and threatened him. The actor proceeded to call Miss Ventura and tell her, "You really need to call Mr. Combs." In or around March 2016, during an FO at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, LA, Mr. Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye. After he fell asleep, Miss Ventura tried to leave the hotel, but as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her and then took a glass vase in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape. She managed to get into the elevator, and when she got into the lobby, quickly took a cab to her apartment. Upon realizing that her running away would cause Mr. Combs to be even angrier with her, and completely stuck in his vicious cycle of abuse, Miss Ventura returned to the hotel with the intention of apologizing for running away from her abuser. When she returned, hotel security staff urged her to get back into a cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing Mr. Combs beating Miss Ventura and throwing glass at her in the hallway. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs paid the Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage that evening. After this, Miss Ventura left her home in Comstock and went to hide away at the friend's home in Florida. James Cruz, president of Bad Boy Management, tracked Miss Ventura down and told her that her single would not be released if she did not answer Mr. Combs' phone calls. A woman who worked at Sony Music reached out to her with a similar ultimatum concerning her record. Incredibly, Mr. Combs even convinced one of his attorneys to call Miss Ventura at this time. The lawyer told Miss Ventura that it's in your best interest to call Mr. Combs back. Each time Miss Ventura tried to run away, Mr. Combs and his powerful network would force her back to him. Mr. Combs' tight hold over her life had irreparably damaged her friendships. Around 2018, when Miss Ventura was with her friend Carrie Morgan in her house, Mr. Combs used his key to Miss Ventura's house and came in unannounced. He and Mrs. Morgan had an altercation, during which Mr. Combs threw a hanger at Miss Morgan. Upon information in belief the incident resulted in a settlement between Mr. Combs and Miss Megan, and Miss Ventura ended up paying Miss Morgan, additional funds in an attempt to resolve the dispute between her close friend and her abusive and controlling boyfriend. The relationship between Miss Ventura and Miss Morgan has been strained since this time. Seeing the extreme measures Mr. Combs took to keep a tight hold on Miss Ventura and isolate her from her support network, and having experienced the repercussions of rejecting his demands, Miss Ventura felt that saying no to Mr. Combs would cost her something, her family, her friends, her career, or even her life. And the next part of that, of course, is the Mr. Combs rapes Miss Ventura, but out of respect for Cassie and her husband, I'm not going to read that part. I've already read the other parts. So the next two parts of that is the rape and the physical abuse of Miss Ventura that caused her lifelong harm, which we've already basically got the gist of that part. I mean, as Jay-Z said, what more can I say? What more can I say? Understand this, y'all. I had a whole list of shit for the podcast. We're going to get into that shit on Late Night Chill tomorrow night. But that's just, that's just the two sides of the coin. Right? That's just two sides of the coin. But this shit here, like a motherfucking dreidel, y'all.
I need that real shit, yeah. Hey, y'all.
God bless everybody out there.
True. Cool. So, like Puffy, what's coming up in the immediate future for the Bad Boy? I love this question.
We got Big's wife dropping.
No
Faith.
doubt.
Evans
doubt.
Wallace, she's dropping.
Soon.
We also have some B-sides and some other different projects. We have Big's new album that's gonna be dropping in like September, Life After Death.
And I want to congratulate Craig Mack on his Grammy nomination. No question.
Yes, baby, yes.
Cool, that's cool. And I'm sure you got much things in store for my
Yeah,
man
definitely.
here.
We got a new album we're working on him to drop in January. Besides that, we about to just drop our R&B stuff.
The Puff Daddy album.
We're gonna
Yeah, what about the Puff Daddy solo project? Yeah, you don't like
Evans
doubt.
Wallace, she's dropping.
Soon.
We also have some B-sides and some other different projects. We have Big's new album that's gonna be dropping in like September, Life After Death.
And I want to congratulate Craig Mack on his Grammy nomination. No question.
Yes, baby, yes.
Cool, that's cool. And
That Craig Mack, as you can see, cared nothing about.
I'm sure you got much things in store for my
Yeah,
man here.
definitely. We got a new album we're working on him to drop in January. Besides that, we about to just drop our R&B.
A clear distinction face of a very confused Craig Mack. Rest in peace. I got an album dropping when? January. I just got nominated for a Grammy. Nigga, I ain't been in the studio. You ain't had me in the studio in months. You ain't had me in the studio in almost a year. As you just said, Biggie's album is coming in September. So when the hell did you decide to put an album out with me? that I don't even know nothing about.
Be stuff.
The Puff Daddy album.
Yeah, what about the Puff Daddy show?
As I scratched my ear on camera. But damn, I had to move it down to my nose just to...
project.
Yeah, you don't like to talk about that.
Puppy, you know what Jack is giving us that.
You know why Puff didn't want to talk about that next project? Because after life, after death was no way out. That's right. Right after life, after death was no way out. Puff's album. You can say it was a Bad Boy Family compilation album, whatever the fuck. It was Puff's album. No Way Out. It was P. Diddy. It was Puff Daddy and the Family, is what it was titled. No Way Out. I had that album. Played it in my CD player a few fucking times, okay? I like the album. But the thing about that album was it was right after Biggie died. As Al B. Shore once said, as you heard in this podcast, life imitates art. Biggie passed away shortly after this interview. Puff's album came out right after Life After Death. This gentleman was never heard from again. Craig Mack, to the left of him, was never heard from again. Soon, shortly after, Craig Mack was ill years later and passes away. We don't have to get into why Craig Mack was ill, because we've already gotten to why a few different people were ill in this podcast, haven't we? Haven't we? Needless to say, I can do a whole nother part 2, and I might. I just might do, because we can be here another 3 hours talking about Biggie Smalls, Craig Mack, 112, B5, making of the band, Danity Kane, Mace, Faith Evans. We can be here another 3 hours if we wanted to really get into that side of things, okay? But in short, I will let Gene Deal tell you what everybody else knows, including, I think her name is Aubrey DMAC. Miss Aubrey has came out and said, like, look, that publishing was only like $240 or something like that, right? The publishing that Diddy gave back to everybody wasn't worth anything.
Puffy, right? News broke, man. I gotta get your opinion on this, man. How you feel about him giving Bad Boy artists back their publishing?
Don't have no feelings about that in a personal manner because that's their business. But the way I look at it is like you giving me your car with a full tank of gas and I bring it back to you on empty. You know what I'm saying? Those kids and their projects and the things that they had, he took their publishing and used it, however he got it, he used it and made millions off of it that helped him be a billionaire. And then he gonna give them back with nothing in the tank. You understand what I'm saying? It's like he probably took about 5 or 6 artists publishing and went to this person and said, went to this group, these people, and say, yo, listen here, I got 10 hits right here. Give me so many $1 million for it, and you could have it for 20 years. That's why when Mace was talking about, I want my publishing, I could buy my publishing. He didn't have Mace publishing. He had to get that stuff back after the years had lapsed from him, selling it to somebody, leasing it to somebody. Now the lease was up on they publishing, so what do? He been taking a lot of bad hits. The Deleon, the liquor company, they dropped them. Complex, the what's that? The cannabis company dropped them. You understand what I'm saying? So he's taking all this. He ain't had no hit records or nothing. You understand? So he's taking all these hits. He got to try to look back in the public when he's coming out with an album. And plus, he's getting an award. And is it the VMAs? He's supposed to be getting a lifetime, some kind of award for the VMAs. So he got to look good going into it. Because right now, in the public's eye, he don't look that good, bro. Everybody is talking about him. The AIs are talking about him. Podcasts, and it's not talking about him in a favorable way. Now, Mark Curry, as I know, is the only dude that came out and said anything that really meant something. And he was like, yo, listen here, man, you want to give us our publishing back and it ain't worth nothing right now. So why you just didn't give us the money for it and kept using it like you was using it? Because don't nobody want it no more.
Right. And I do recall Mark Curry saying that the artist on Bad Boy is not going to get anything back because it's not worth anything no more. If I'm not mistaken, I think he said that they're going to probably make about $400 to $500 a year.
If they don't have a hit song, when he put all that together in a group to go sell it, you got to realize he had the Craig Max, the Biggie, he had the Mace, he had the Locks, and all of them had #1 songs on the Billboard. You understand what I'm saying? Then he had the Bad Boy song that they was using for movies. That makes money. You understand? But who else do you see? They songs are in movies and stuff like that. You don't get it.
So for you, you don't think it's genuine. You think Puffy is just doing it for his image.
Bruh, do you remember the Bad Boy tour? I'm gonna get in touch with all my artists, and whatever I owe them or whatever I'm gonna get them, it's a Bad Boy reunion. I'm gonna make good. Bro, don't you know this dude got on a show and it just blew my mind? And I said he's delusional. He said that Bad Boy would be remembered like on the level of Motown. Bruh. I ain't saying nothing, but drugs do some weird shit some stuff to your mind, bro. Drugs do some real stuff to your mind. How would Bad Boy be on the level of Motown? He said, and he answered the question like, yo, the way we dressed, the cars we had, the houses, the statements that we made and everything. Who is we? Who is we? It wasn't big because he didn't get a chance to spend none of his money. Craig Mack got thrown out the label. Who is we? Black Rob didn't get a chance to spend none of his money. Or Black Rob didn't have it. Who is we? Do Faith have it?
Rest in peace to Black Rob.
I don't think so. Who is we? Does 112 have it? The mansions, the cars, and everything? Nah, man. Nah. And I'm not hating on dude like that, man. I'm just bringing facts to y'all. He's saying we, Bad Boy we. No, it's Bad Boy you. And that was it. Be honest with it. And he can't be honest with it. Ain't nothing he's doing right now, bro, is honest about, giving somebody. It's like you go into the Chinese restaurant and you're supposed to get 5 wings and they only give you 3. They cheat you out your chicken wings. Yo, man, it's nothing that he's doing honest about this, man. And people want to look at it. Why would you wait? And then he gave it back longer than a week ago, longer than 2 weeks ago, longer than a month ago. He made them be quiet until he got ready to make a statement on it. They couldn't say nothing until he made a statement on it, and he waited until he's supposed to be getting his VMH award for a global icon. Come on, man. They got to do better.
He's right. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Gotta do better. Gotta do better. But interesting enough that he said something. We showed Mark Curry earlier, former Bad Boy artist Mark Curry. Mark Curry made an interesting, revelation about something. About why all this is happening to Diddy. And I caught on to it. Listen to this.
All right, so listen. This man is going through a lot of turmoil. Yo, the way that, and it all happened when he filed that discrimination charge against the mob. So it's like, yo, why would you, and then now everything is coming down, it's crashing. And you can fool some of the people, but you can't fool all of the people. You can lie to a couple of people, but you can't lie to everybody.
What's up, everybody? This is the world famous.
That was all I needed to hear. You filed a lawsuit against the mob. What Mark Curry talking about? So I started to do a little bit of digging on what Mark Curry was talking about. You remember her Gene Deal said, "Oh, he got dropped from Diego. The people that own Ciroc for real, that partnered with him with De Leon, they dropped him." Now notice that too. I was like, I don't see no more Khaled commercials of the new Ciroc flavors. I don't see no new Ciroc flavors coming out. And I have gotten every single fucking Ciroc bottle. Just out of black support. I got every single bottle. I'm documented, damn it. Every bottle. Even the cognac one that failed, damn it. But I noticed there wasn't no more Ciroc bottles. Then I noticed, and I told my friend that, I was like, yo, De Leon was like $100 when it first came out. The small one was like $100 when it came out. No, some shit was like $20, $30 now. I'm like, something ain't right. So I took it upon myself, and this comes from CNN. June 27th, 2023. Now, this is kind of interesting here in what Mark Curry said. Says, Spirits maker Diego has cut ties with Sean Diddy Combs, ending a lucrative 15-year partnership that recently culminated in a racial discrimination lawsuit. The music mogul charged that Diego had neglected and underpromoted his De Leon tequila, dismissing it as an urban product in its marketing, in a suit filed last month. The London-based Diego, which makes well-known liquor brands like Smirnoff Vodka and Johnny Walker Whiskey, countered that this was a baseless complaint. In a statement obtained by CNN, Diego said Diddy's bad faith actions have clearly breached his contracts and left us no choice but to end our business relationship. Diddy accused Diego of failing to market his spirits, which also includes Ciroc Vodka, in a similar manner with its other brands, including Don Julio and the George Clooney founded Casamigos brands. Diego responded that he has amassed nearly $1 billion from the partnership. Diego's and Combs have partnered on Ciroc Vodka since 2007. In 2013, Combs bought De Leon and formed a joint venture with Diego for the high-end tequila. Diddy said that in the lawsuit that Diego kneecapped De Leon's sale growth for nearly a decade because the company considered it to be a black brand and marketed it to only urban customers. He also claimed that Diego executive told him that if Combs were Martha Stewart, then his brands would be more widespread. Diego has denied the accusations. Diego said Tuesday that Diddy has repeatedly undermined our partnerships and threatened to publicly defame Diego if we did not meet his unreasonable financial demands. The company also said that they invested more than $100 million to help grow his tequila and accused of to help him grow his tequila and accused of him only contributing $1,000 in response. Diddy's attorneys, John Houston, said in a statement that Diego attempting to attend its deals with Mr. Combs is like firing a whistleblower who calls out racism, and that the company's decision in a cynical and transparent attempt to distract from multiple allegations of discrimination, this lawsuit, Mr. Combs, are not going away, Houston said. Attorney Josh Gerben told CNN that it's not surprising that Diego wanted to end its agreement with Combs because whenever a lawsuit gets filed that makes such a strong allegations of wrongdoing, it is a sign of irreparable break in a business relationship. At the moment, we are left to wonder what, if any, of the allegations made by either party are factually accurate, and depending on how the case resolves, we may never know the answer to that question, Gerben said. Interesting. Interesting, y'all. Interesting that Mark Curry said that. Said that ever since he filed that lawsuit against the mob, all this shit just started falling, right? And I thought about that. I was like, Diddy ain't dropped an album in fucking decades. Why he dropping an album now? And like I said, I started putting two and two together. I was like, he ain't promoting no liquor. He ain't promoting nothing. Except the music. It was this whole, R&B is dead. He started to make some noise. Remember that? R&B dead. We gotta talk about R&B. Get this love back. Start making love again. Right? And like Gene Dale said, he had to promote the music. He had to go on the whole memorial tour with Kim Porter to get seen in a better light before the awards because he was getting honored. So he had to make it look like he was good before he got honored. This just made it bad all over again. Like I said, I ain't had to say nothing. We was here for 3.5 hours. We could have been here another 3.5 hours if I was to get into the music side of Puffy. If I was to get into just the music side of Puffy. Okay? So, who knows? Maybe we will do it. Maybe we will do a late night chill where we just go into the music side of things. But next late night chill, we got some other shit to talk about. Drake dropped Scary Hours. What the fuck else I had? Yeah, Drake had dropped Scary Hours. Charlemagne. We was gonna get into Partisan Fontaine. We was gonna get into Partisan. Partisan Fontaine. Yeah, Partisan. Diss Against Megan. We was gonna get into Andre 3000, which is a very amazing album as well. But like I said, we gotta end it tonight. It's getting late. And yeah, man. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for shit.
Yeah.
Do your own research.
Yeah.
And with that being said, y'all know what time it is. Peace.
My type of women like to cuddle, but don't sleep on the money. My type of women like to talk, but don't talk to no dummy. A good play, peace and pay, that's a damn good day. A good play, peace and pay, that's a damn good day. The type of dudes don't be calling trying to blow up a phone. The type of dudes getting money but don't leave her alone. She just need food, peace and pay, that's a damn good day. She just need food, peace and pay, that's a damn good day. Don't be mad at it, that's just what I prefer. Don't be mad at it, that's just what I prefer. Don't be mad at it, that's just what we prefer. Don't be mad at it, that's just what we prefer. I need a woman that can cook and clean. She need a good man that fucking mean. I kick it paying all bills, yeah, I foot the fee. Yeah, I know she bad and bougie, but she good to me. We talking king shit, I love to show her royalty. I need a queen, quick to always show her loyalty. And when even a nigga off, she be on with me. She DEF the fuck boy, she supported G. That's how it always be. Yeah, it's a baddie, it's a baddie. Make it clap, patty cake with that fatty. Yeah, she love it, making money. Keep it coming, hate but complaining, haters do nothing. My type of women like to cuddle, but don't sleep on the money. My type of women like to talk, but don't talk to no dummy. A good play, peace and pay, that's a damn good day. A good play, peace and pay, that's a damn good day. A type of dudes don't be calling trying to blow up a phone. A type of dudes getting money but don't leave her alone. She just need food, peace and pay, that's a damn good day. She just need food, peace and pay, that's a damn good day. Don't be mad at it, that's just what I prefer. Don't be mad at it, that's just what I prefer. Don't be mad at it, that's just what we prefer. Don't be mad at it, that's just what we prefer. Don't be mad at it, that's just what I prefer. Don't be mad at it, that's just what I prefer. Don't be mad at it, that's just what we prefer. Don't be mad at it, that's just what we prefer.